What's going on? I am Nando.
And I am DJ.
Nando Diggins.
And this is mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woo!
Woo!
This week, one of the biggest pieces of pop culture ever for some reason. Avatar 1, we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about Pinocchio a little bit too, because we have to talk about it. But also, you should just watch it, and then you could maybe, I don't know, ask us what we thought later. But we are mostly talking about the first Avatar movie. What are we calling this one? The Way of Land? Or
well, that makes sense.
The Way of, like...
Invasion of the Sky People.
I like that, Sky People.
Oh, that could be this next one, though.
That's true. And I feel like I've heard people say, how does this line up with what the Avatar, like, Airbender books are? The first one is water, right?
It is,
well,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the
water,
first...
earth, air, fire.
No, the first Avatar only had 3 seasons, and it's
right,
water,
it was
earth, fire.
Fire, yeah.
Because they already knew air.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I don't know, Way of Fire will probably be next then, or like Fight of Fire. That'll be it.
Fight of Earth?
Yeah,
Way
I guess like, well, I've heard rumors, not rumors, but like people have described what James Cameron has said about Avatar 4, that like it probably would have to be the Avatar Pandorans going to Earth to kill us all or something.
Let's go.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't that be cool?
No,
are they the bad guys in that scenario?
No, it's going to be like Coming to America.
Yeah.
Jake will be Eddie Murphy in that movie as like fish out of water.
Mm-hmm. A fish out of the way of water.
Yeah, and then exactly.
Hey.
Yeah. And he'll go to the new I don't remember any of the names, any of the words of this fucking movie. The new district in Brooklyn. Natine Vries or something, and it's like it's got a lot of people in it that all look just like him, but with wigs on. That movie's great. I love Coming to America. I don't know if it holds up or if it's terrible.
What about Coming to America?
Yeah, I actually wasn't sure.
Couldn't get halfway through it. I hated it. But the first one,
cash grab,
and like just kind of boring. Like it wasn't even. It's like Zoolander 2, where it's like, I get it, and it's not that they're like holding back or phoning it in necessarily. There's just nothing to do. Like, yeah, it's just not fun.
Right.
We want to talk about things that are fun. We got a bunch of newses this week.
Oh, so much newses.
First, real quick, I just want to talk about the fight that broke out the other day at the Chappelle concert. It's a really bad fight, you guys.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I heard about it on Twitter from somebody, I can't remember who. Elon Musk, yeah, told that there was a fight at Twitter right as he got on stage, or a fight at the Chappelle concert right as Elon got on stage, and that's why it sounded like people were booing him, but it was really this fight.
Oh,
and that's a real thing he quoted or tweeted.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's coming up with a lot of good excuses why actually they were pretty cool and they liked him. It was only like 10% booze when you really, look at the numbers.
I heard that one.
The rest were bots.
Yeah.
It was all bots.
It's insane. Like, he's just the weirdest guy. Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, I got invited. Sorry. Go ahead, Diggins. I'll say my thing after.
I was just going to say, the wild thing to me about that story is that Dave Chappelle was caping so hard.
Is
that weird?
Well, listen, I know he's, kind of gone big on the cancel culture, I deserve to make fun of trans people thing, but he knows what stage presence is and how to act to make people laugh. Mm-hmm. He is a gifted comedian, even if he's chosen to use that in not very good ways lately. And surely he knows that Elon Musk is a weirdo who is not going to get cheered if he brings him on stage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's crazy. I was talking to Hannah about this the other day. Like, if you didn't grow up with them, it's really hard to understand how insane of a shift this is for Kanye West and Dave Chappelle over the last 3 years. They used to be so cool. And, I mean, they were, we weren't perfect, but, like, they were, on the right side of a bunch of important issues and stuff, and, they seem kind of normal. Man, that money just rots your brain. Like, you can't, just can't stay cool. It's bizarre. Anyway, you guys... That's one thing. The woke mind rot or whatever.
Can I share some personal news?
Sure.
Jason, okay. I got invited to Post News.
What's that?
Wow.
Wait, I feel like Diggins might know what this is. Nando, have you heard of this?
I do know.
I'm sure I've seen it and gone like, "Oh, what's that?" and then kind of forgot to look it up.
It's the new Twitter. I know, but it's supposed to be like a news aggregate site where like you could go and find like different news articles. And I think the idea eventually is that you would like it would be like microtransactions, like read this article for 1 cent or whatever. So yeah, to fix the problem with like it being free is like the current or like was the problem and how Twitter could make money, but this is gonna be like a user supported one. So I got in. I'll let you know how it is.
I've never heard of this.
How did you get? Yeah. How did you score an invite?
I didn't get an invite. I just signed up for the beta and I got in.
Oh,
nice.
So you scored an invite by asking.
Oh yeah, I begged whoever was the person in charge. I'm like, please let me in, please. I need not Twitter, but this seems like whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll keep you posted.
If you keep us posted, post news
I'll keep you post news.
Yes, very good. Oh, I get it. It's like post news, like after news. Is that what it's going for? What's it going for?
Like how you post news,
right? Okay, that makes sense too.
Like not after news, not like post.
Like we're living in a post news world.
Yeah, post news world.
I mean, would they be wrong?
I'm gonna go here to post news.
It's true.
Anyway, sorry. That's that.
That's terrific news. Speaking of exclusives and exclusive things, let's follow up on what we talked about last week with Warner Brothers Discovery, whatever's going on there.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we get to the DC stuff, did you see apparently they pulled Westworld from their HBO?
I thought it was bastards. That they are going to.
Yeah.
Westworld, The Lovers, and one other thing.
The Nevers, I think, right? The one.
Nevers, yeah.
Yeah, the one that didn't have anything to do with any famous directors. You guys don't look it up. Classic show.
Why do they hate us?
But yeah, that's so wild. People think they're going to make what's called I forget what the acronym is for it now, but like a FAST, maybe? Free ad-supported, like thingy platform, I guess. And those things will be on there for free because they're all canceled and probably people aren't watching them on HBO, I guess. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but but besides that, speaking of things that went fast, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's Black Adam is on HBO Max in like 20 minutes or whatever. It can't be on fast enough as far as I'm concerned.
Fast?
And
because you really want to see it again.
I can't wait. Yeah, I just want to get more details. I do think it will be fun to watch extras fight skeletons in the backgrounds of those in that movie because like that's gonna be really bad. But I can't imagine what it will be. So yeah, what did you guys see in the since we last spoke when James Gunn seemed to kind of end a bunch of these projects and like restructure the whole universe? Things have changed, or at least
the whole power structure of
information.
the DCEU has changed forever.
Yeah.
Because of the character that James Gunn said they plan on introducing, who is the most powerful character in DC Comics.
Booster Gold.
No, silly. I'm talking about Plastic Man.
Yeah, Plastic Man. Everyone loves Plastic Man.
Everyone loves Plastic Man. Did he say they're introducing? I honestly haven't seen the Plastic Man news. I know you said this, but
it was in that picture that he posted. So like people interpreted that as like, oh, he's gonna put in. Like, did he Google image search, like, DC heroes, or did he purposely say, oh, this is my little wink and a nod that I'm going to put Plastic Man in, or whatever?
Are you talking about the Kingdom Come cover?
Is that what that is?
I think so. The one where they're all standing over a circle? Or like a circular table, like looking at it, seeming to plan something?
No, this is the one where you could, like...
painterly style?
Yeah.
No, it's where you could, like, clearly see the outline of Superman's penis. Like, very clearly. I posted it in our super private Discord.
Did you? Oh,
if you scroll up like a little bit.
I mean, it is a private Discord. You're saying that like anyone can just go to it and they can't.
Really can see Superman's penis too much in this picture,
right?
That's upsetting.
Like way too much. We should post this picture. Whoever runs our Twitter account, post this picture. Really zoom in on Superman's penis.
Yeah, that's not good. That artist really wanted to draw attention to his. Triangle of gladness, let's call it.
But if you see Plastic Man is in this picture.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's that exciting, right? He's just like there. Like
I don't know. Maybe that is exciting for some people.
Maybe it is. I mean, I guess out of all of the characters that are in that picture, the only one that hasn't been in the movies is Hawkgirl.
Martian Manhunter.
Well, he was in the Zack Snyder Justice League, though, kind of.
Oh.
He shows up at the end and is like, Batman, I'm in this movie now.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck recasting me.
Goodbye.
And then you got Green Lantern, which, like, that doesn't really count, but we haven't had him in a while. And then Green Arrow, I don't think we've got.
Hasn't been in a movie. And neither is the Atom, right? The Atom's never been in one.
Well, so not Ray Palmer, but Ryan Choi was the character in Zack Snyder Justice League also. So, like, one of the Atoms has been in it, but not that one, I'm assuming.
But he wasn't atoming. He was just...
No, he was not atoming. I mean, we didn't see him atoming. Maybe he was atoming the whole time.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, like, just if you
Secret
zoom in,
atoming.
you get an 8K version of it, you could see all the things that Atom is up to. But yeah, I mean, he should make a Plastic Man thing. I feel like we've only got so long before Ben Schwartz ages out of it, so let's get this, ball rolling. It's pretty good.
Let me do Ben Schwartz Plastic Man. General Zod is the worst. How's that? Is that pretty good?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like the weirdest thing about Plastic Man is that he, like, goes out of his way to be, like, a little weirdo. Like, his thing is, like, he can do what Mr. Fantastic can do, but instead of, like, I don't know, turning himself into a little kite so he can fly a little bit, he, like, turns himself into a propeller plane with a big face on the front. Like, it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Puts a lot of effort into it. That's probably why they haven't put him in one of these yet, but it's good to have him. He's also, like, borderline indestructible, I think, is, like, one of the more interesting things about him. You just can't kill him, so that's always handy. But, yeah. So what else? What else did we learn?
If I learned anything from any movies we happened to watch this week, it's that being immortal is extremely useful.
That's true. It is very useful, especially if you're made out of not skin, especially if you're made out of some material. Then you're, some sort of super soldier. But yeah, what did we learn about James Gunn besides these guys are all going to be in it? Like, what's the tweet say?
Everything's going to be, like, do you actually want us to read the tweet verbatim?
Yeah, why not? I haven't seen this one yet, so maybe it's helpful.
All right, hold on. Okay, I will begin. Okay, so as for the story yesterday in the Hollywood Reporter, some of it is true, some of it is half true, some of it is not, and some of it we haven't decided yet whether it's true or not. Although this first month at DC has been fruitful, building the next 10 years of story takes time, and we're still just beginning. Peter and I chose to helm DC Studios knowing we were coming into a fractious environment, both in the stories being told and in the audience itself, and there would be an unavoidable transitional period as we moved into telling a cohesive story across film, TV, animation, and gaming. But in the end, the drawbacks of that transitional period were dwarfed by the creative possibilities and the opportunity to build upon what has worked in DC so far and help rectify what has not. We know we are not going to make every single person happy every step of the way, but we can promise everything we do is done in the service of the story, all in caps, and in service of the, all in caps, DC characters we know you cherish and we have cherished our whole lives. As for more answers about the future of the DCU, I will sadly have to ask you to wait. We are giving these characters and stories the time and attention they deserve, and we ourselves still have a lot more questions to ask and answer. And then there's the picture where you can just see Superman's penis super, like, clear under the tights. It's just so unsettling how well you can see his penis.
I think it's pretty interesting, because I feel like everybody, if that is what he looks like, everybody in Metropolis that's seen him for a second has seen his penis. Like, that is a known fact. That would be easier to identify him by than his face. Like,
do you think before he settles down with Lois Lane, Clark Kent ever hooks up with somebody and, like, in the middle of the act they're like, Superman?
Yeah. and then he hunches over and his penis gets all sad and it's like, no, I'm lowly Clark Kent. I'm a different guy. Those movies are good, the original ones.
It's the only place he's not super. Hey.
Yeah. So there was that story, which was interesting because it was basically people would tweet like, hey, James Gunn, what do you think of Henry Cavill? And Henry Cavill will say, or James Gunn will say, I like him. And then that'll be the story. There's a lot of that going on, like him replying to people.
Yeah.
And us reading way too far into everything he said, but
yeah, probably like with these tweets, honestly.
I mean, think like Henry Cavill will have a lot of free time since he lost his dream job.
Well, it's weird because it seems like, I'm not positive about this, but from what I've heard, it seems like that production was kind of not great in season 2 of Witcher. Like, I feel like I had heard or saw people tweeting maybe after the fact that it was like he was probably going to leave anyway. The Man of Steel thing's just kind of a coincidence because they just weren't working well together, which, I don't know. I stopped watching that show after one season.
Season 2 wasn't that great.
2. It's fine, I guess. I don't know.
It's very mediocre.
In interviews, he said he fought with the writers a lot about the story, and honestly, that seems warranted.
Okay. Yeah. So that's helpful to have a set where everybody's fighting over the story. I'm glad that I hope it worked out. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. The next season is the one where the writers get to do whatever they want. Unless Luke Hemsworth also decides to start fighting with them, which would be fun. Or Liam Hemsworth, or whichever Hemsworth
I was going to say, I thought it was Liam.
For now. You never know. They may start
Liam
switching him out.
Hemsworth is just happy to be anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, his Westworld show got scrubbed from all of reality, so he's out of stuff. Oh, wait, that's Luke Hemsworth.
That one was Luke.
Yeah, I'm so bad at these. Which one is Dangerous Game?
Liam.
Okay. And that one's The Witcher.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I don't know why. He feels like the Luke of the two. Is that not... Am I crazy?
Well, Luke, I think, is the youngest, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
But Liam is the most forgettable.
I mean, no, you're the fourth Hemsworth that you've blocked out of your memory. The Forget-Me-Not Hemsworth is the most forgettable. You don't even remember
Larry
him.
Hemsworth?
That's right, yeah. I feel like... I don't know. It's crazy because it seems like one of the things...
Luke is older than Liam. I'm wrong.
Is he older than Chris? Is he the oldest Hemsworth?
Yes, he is.
Ooh, impressive. Okay. All right, well,
Liam
that
Hemsworth
changes things.
is a year older than me, and now I feel bad.
That makes a little bit of sense, because he was dating Miley Cyrus. He's got to be pretty, and she's like our age, so not that has ever stopped, an older man from dating a younger person, but, it seemed like they were about the same age. But yeah, there were some interesting rumors about DC that we should probably spread. One of them was that Henry Cavill announced he was coming back as Superman before anybody decided that was going to happen. That's my favorite of all of these rumors. Have you guys heard this?
No.
So the story goes that they wanted to get him back for a Final Crisis movie or Crisis on Infinite Earths, like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And they were going to make an announcement later, but he decided for some reason to not do that. And if that's true, way to go, Henry Cavill. Cool.
You go, bro.
Yeah. Apparently, the Warner Brothers got a script from Patty Jenkins. They said we didn't like it, and she sent them back the Wikipedia page for character arc. Right. Keep it going, Patty. I'm with you. Yeah, it's another one of these rumors, but I saw that a lot of places. It seems relatively held up. To be fair, they could always use another look. I've seen some movies. I saw Don't Worry, Darling. You can never be too sure. Maybe want to check the Wikipedia again. But you guys, the most important thing, obviously, is The Rock, who, according to someone named Matt something, what's this guy's name? Matt, we'll never know. Matt Belloni, Belloni. It seems like The Rock, I'll just read his bit here because it's easier to read. Amid reports of Black Adam losing money, Team Dwayne Johnson even took to leaking to Deadline and then tweeting a purported Ultimates financial sheet. Sorry, Johnson didn't actually admit to leaking it, but several Warner executives sure think he did, claiming to show that Black Adam will make it into the black. Fantastic stuff. It was one of the sillier trade stories of all time, filled with false assumptions. Only $100 million in worldwide marketing? Okay. No way does a movie like that get home entertainment numbers given the audience rejection and short windows. Interest rates are not 2% in this case, etc. And long term, nearly all movies of this size will ultimately pencil out after every window is exhausted over years and years. That doesn't mean it's considered a worthwhile movie, but at least The Rock got a good tweet out of it. So, yeah, I don't know if were you guys following this when it was happening? The Rock was tweeting actually
Absolutely
Black Adam
not.
was cool and everyone liked it.
I saw that was happening, but I was shaking my head like, "Oh, Dwayne," and with a soft smile on my face. That was all the attention I paid to it.
Yeah, I guess I'm glad he thinks that.
I'm glad he thinks that too. I think more stars should do this. Just whenever a negative story comes out, just figure out a way, some gymnastics to make it actually true or good for you. He's probably got the same publicist as Chris Pratt.
With Hollywood accounting, you can make anything profitable or unprofitable. Is there a writer for Men in Black who every year tweets out a thread about how, to this day, according to Hollywood accounting, Men in Black has not turned a profit.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Is it true?
No, it's obviously not true, but...
If it hadn't turned a profit, they'd stop making them, probably. They're not just...
I think he's talking about a way that they have gotten around paying him royalties.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's like, I don't know, like how somehow Warner Brothers was able to save money by not releasing Batgirl. Like, we spent money, we made a movie. Instead of putting that movie in theaters and getting, ticket sales off of it, we'll just not do it. So, like, that's kind of weird.
You get
They
a
didn't want
tax
it to
break for that or something? I don't know. It seems not worth it, but whatever.
It's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, it's weird because that was the first thing they did, too. I feel like that was the first big story we heard about that was like, by the way, no Batgirl movie, you guys. Sorry. And everyone got really confused. What do you guys think they should do next?
DC, shut it down, probably. Just, like, stop would be my recommendation.
That'd be interesting. I don't think that's
up,
what they'll do, but that'd be interesting.
Yeah, right.
I would love it if they gave up.
I feel like it would speak to people. Like, oh, wow, even, like, a big Hollywood studio could just give up, That speaks to me as a consumer.
That would be pretty funny. And then we would get, I don't know, like half-finished Blue Beetle movie or something. They just put it out with no effects. Just wearing a big plastic half of a suit.
That's
like,
it.
You guys imagine. He goes and does a Blue Beetle adventure in this scene.
Remember when that work print of Wolverine Origins or whatever came out? It'll be like that.
Oh, yeah. I don't think to this day I've seen the real one. I feel like I saw the work print once. And then I was like, I think I get it. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they should release everything as is and just let the public decide. Oh, I know. They should do Twitter polls to decide the fate of every movie. So you just put up the movie, and then the Twitter poll is whether it lives or dies. That's what decides the fate of all these people with jobs.
But
Twitter polls.
But what if one of those movies wins the Twitter poll, and then the movie is like, actually, I don't want to go on movie screens, and just keeps being posted on WB work print computers or whatever?
Well, then I guess they'll have to figure out some kind of workaround.
So what you're saying is you want the Snyder Cut back. That's what the end game of this is, right?
Yeah.
More Snyder Cut.
There can't possibly be more, can there?
I mean, I feel like there's there's definitely the Ayer cut. People keep talking about that. Oh,
yeah, people want that
I feel like people aren't as enthusiastic about that as they were about the Snyder Cut.
No, yeah, not at all.
I would love it if all the Snyder people had been disappointed in the Snyder Cut, and then it went back to, actually, even on this one, they still didn't put all the stuff I wanted, and the network messed with it, or the studio messed with it, and they were release the Snyder Cut of the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, there's a big conspiracy to destroy Zack Snyder's beautiful work.
I need Zack Snyder himself to, do the commentary for the movie to prove that it was his vision.
Yeah. Holding up today's newspaper. I want Zack Snyder to tell me this is the movie he likes. No blinking messages or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. He's making his Star Wars movie. I feel like they showed some clips, or not clips, some images from that. It's not a Star Wars movie, but it's whatever, Dark Sky or something is what it's called.
It's a fucking Star Wars, right?
Yeah. It's his whatever. As Sucker Punch was to Giant Robot Samurais, this is to Star Wars.
Is it like Bright in that it could be his Star Wars?
I hope so. I think it will be. I also want to say, that reminded me. Apparently tomorrow we're getting a trailer for Spider-Verse. So everybody just remember what you were like today before we saw the trailer for Spider-Verse 2 and our lives changed forever. So that's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm very excited. Yeah.
Does that come out next winter?
No, it's April of next year, I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty soon.
Supposed to come out the end of this year, and it got pushed.
Year of the Multiverse. Yeah,
some of us predicted that it would be very successful this year, and
yeah.
We're going to have to eat that one.
Someone really whiffed on their predictions this year. Not that, the predictions were bad, but the potential of the predictions could have been higher.
I mean, we'll talk about it in a couple weeks. I feel like by now most of our predictions have to have been kind of all played out. Besides, I guess Avatar, we'll see how that one does. But once we get final numbers on that, we'll know how this went. You and I
both have Avatar predictions, don't we?
No, my flop was Top Gun.
Top Gun Maverick.
So yeah. I don't have a good feeling about this year, guys. I don't know. Maybe I could go back and re-edit the podcast so I say Halo's going to flop and Top Gun's going to rule and everyone will like it. Because then I'll win. But yeah, only Roger knows the truth.
Only we know the real truth from our unreleased pod.
Only we know how right I was.
Mm-hmm.
You were so right, and I'm mad at you for not having conviction.
That's so funny. That's true.
I should have stuck with
give it another week. You never know. It'll bounce right back.
Sam Bankman-Fried released from prison, and all crypto is back to the moon. That's
yep.
Diamond hands to the moon. No more footing. All of it.
That's right. It's it's a terrible world we live in, you guys. I'm excited to see what happens.
In the world?
Their predictions. No, not in the world.
No, I haven't been excited to see what happens in the world in 6 years.
Yeah. We're going to find out, and it'll be interesting. But before that, we should talk about another thing, another world. A world of James Cameron's imagination, you guys.
Oh, man. So imaginative.
We're going to talk about The Abyss. You guys ever seen The Abyss?
No.
I don't think so.
Weird. They kept almost killing all the actors.
That seems bad to do.
Yeah, this is like... The Avatar is kind of looking into this. One of these, like, James Cameron movies where they didn't almost kill all the actors. Like, it's become something he's kind of known for, because he did in Titanic and Abyss, and I want to say there's a Terminator version of that, but I can't remember which one it is. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Movie's not out yet, but, let's talk about Avatar 1.
Just Avatar. No sub whatever, it's just Avatar.
Just Avatar, yeah.
It's not The Last Airbender.
Nope,
it's
not
just
that.
Avatar.
And...
We already did that one.
We have done that one. And when did that one come out? A year later, I want to say?
Yeah, it was
2009. That was 2010? Yeah.
Yeah. Enough to be ambiguous, but like, wait, which Avatar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
a lot of that.
It did not go the way people that like the Avatar show thought it would go.
Yeah.
Never before has someone lost a name that they had so distinctly and quickly. But yeah, we got to talk about Avatar this week, you guys. Diggins.
We don't got it, but we are.
I think we have to because it's so important.
The contract we signed with that wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He'll be so pissed if we don't.
And I think we'll get to it, but this movie is kind of fascinating in that it is and isn't interesting in a lot of ways. Like, it's hard to explain. I feel like there's very few movies like this movie, and it's full of things to nitpick that don't make any sense. So it should be great. And Diggins, as the winner of last week, I believe,
finally,
you get to take the reins. You get to plug your little tail into the IMDb.
Plug my hair.
Oh, don't steal his thunder, Nando.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you guys don't know, if this is the first episode you're listening to, we do a little thing called the IMDb, B as in spelling bee, where my two esteemed co-hosts will have to guess what the summary on IMDb for Avatar is. It's a little known fact. Did you guys know that every IMDb summary is actually cultivated from a secret garden in the Himalayas, where they grow free and wild?
Aww.
They've tried to replicate, grow these plants closer to IMDb headquarters to make it easier for them. But there's just no matter what they do, they can't recreate the conditions that allow them to grow in this little, shelf on the Himalayas. So, yeah, every week or so, they have to send out a bunch of interns to scale the heights of these mountains. At least half of them are usually killed by, rams, rock slides, yetis, etc., but the surviving ones make it up to near the peak of the Himalayas. They harvest all of the IMDb summaries that have grown since the last time they were there. Just beautiful, perfect summaries of all the movies that have come out. And then they begin the long journey back home where they deliver it to IMDb headquarters, and they are copied down and then thrown into an incinerator.
Oh, that's great. I like that it's like in the world now, you know, like it's that it doesn't exist anymore. It is floating. It's like the ashes of the IMDb summary could be floating by you at this very moment. We are all the IMDb summary. This is what I'm saying.
Right. It's very spiritual, very powerful.
Yeah. Like IMDb has always been. Like it's a good spiritual thing. But yeah, so we have to guess that, which is going to be tough for DJ because he has to go first.
Well, no, you get to decide.
Yeah, I have the free-range Himalayan IMDb summary for Avatar in front of me right now. And yeah, DJ, you get to pick who goes first.
No, Nando gets to pick.
Yeah, I'd pick DJ. DJ, you're up, baby. I'm going to take a second to think about this one.
Man.
I'll tell you, I'll give you a little hint here.
Okay.
It's right, but it's worded strangely.
All right, well, that's not going to change anything that I do. All right. Former Marine Jake Sully must inhabit a fabricated all right, hold on. Restart. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. Former Marine Jake Sully must work together with the native people of Pandora, the Na'vi, to stop an evil corporation from harvesting all its resources and destroying the planet.
It's interesting.
All right.
Okay.
Nando, do you have a follow-up?
No, I'm just gonna sit this one out. No, I do. Okay. So I was gonna go in a little different direction. So I'm glad you did that. Okay. After the death of his brother, a former Marine has to travel to the land of Pandora to take his brother's place in an experimental program to infiltrate the mysterious Na'vi people.
You both did really bad.
Yeah, nice. Love
there you
that.
go. That's
Love
how you
when
gotta
that
do
happens.
You both basically only got two things. You said Marine and you said Pandora. And
I don't
that's...
think Nando said Pandora.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
Wait, I didn't say... I definitely said Pandora.
Okay.
I only
You
used proper
both
nouns
said-
from the Na'vi side of the thing. That was my kind of... I didn't want to say Jake or any of that. I did try to say those things, though.
Well, not using anybody's names was a right thing to do, but I don't think that's enough to get you the win when you both did so bad.
Nice.
Do you have a tiebreaker? I'll be honest, I don't know any of the characters' names in this movie, so if it's
So I
that,
could just
you
be
might
like,
as well just hand that
name
trophy
a
over to
character
DJ.
from this movie.
Yeah.
Sue.
Who?
Right? Tsuey.
Incorrect. I know who you mean, and you are not correct.
Damn it.
Is that the cool guy?
Claire?
He's talking about the guy that the female lead, Zoe Saldana, is engaged to at the start.
Yeah, the cool guy. I like
the
him.
cool guy.
Claire is definitely one, right?
No.
What?
Who would be Claire?
The Sigourney Weaver.
No.
No, I remember her character's name is... Nope, I got nothing.
What the hell? Why?
Nora?
I feel like
No,
this
that's
should
not it.
actually be the tiebreaker now. One of you tell me the name of a character from this movie, and you have
I
to
know,
be
like,
correct.
Okay.
Not in
Jake
the ballpark.
Sully and Natiri. Those
Okay.
are the main two, but like...
Okay, besides those two. Tell me
You know
the
what?
name of
Hold on,
somebody
hold on.
besides those
Pretty
two.
sure the nerd's name is Neil. Is that right?
Joey?
Nope.
No, I thought it was Joey.
You're both wrong.
God damn, why is this so hard?
I want to say...
Grace! Her name is Grace!
Yeah, that's her name.
Yes,
That's
Sigourney Weaver is Dr. Grace Augustine.
There we go.
Grace, yeah. Do you
So
know
I
she
win.
was... well, we'll talk about it. But, yeah.
What's up? Do we know what?
Well, apparently she based her performance off of James Cameron. She decided her character had to be a big jerk who
Smokes a lot?
smokes a lot, was a perfectionist because that was her experience with him in previous movies.
What previous movies was she in that he directed?
Okay, I think I should get the win for just that sentence, but
Oh, what?
I don't think he's going to give it to me. Yeah. What previous movies was she in, DJ? You just name one, and then it's that one, probably. It's not Galaxy
Really?
Quest, the other
Who
one.
was she in Titanic?
No, I'm saying what movies was she in? Like, name movies you know Sigourney Weaver from.
Oh, dude. Like,
Yeah. Classic stuff. She shoots basketball in that one, too. When she played basketball in this, I was like, oh, is that a reference? Probably not, but maybe.
I know, like, Sigourney Weaver exists. I couldn't name a single movie besides
You
this
know that
she's
she
in.
exists?
Yeah.
I'm not sold. I don't think she's real. I think she's a creation of wonderful CGI technology to fool me.
So wait, do I win the tiebreaker, Diggins? Because I knew Sigourney Weaver's character's name was Grace.
I'm gonna... Here's a tiebreaker for you. The animal noises in this movie were mostly recycled from a different movie. Do you know what movie they were recycled from?
Max was also a character, so I'm just throwing that out there that I know that he's a character in this movie.
Which one's Max?
He's the friend who like stays behind. Who's like, I need a guy on the inside when everything goes up.
Wait, so one of them's name isn't Neil, but what is it? That guy?
The
is
nerd
it
like dodgeball.
Norman. Okay. Norm. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Okay, so movie that used the animal sounds.
They took most of the animal sounds from another movie.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go first because I went first for the thing. They took the... God, okay, so...
I actually realized this, by the way. This one I noticed.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. Was it Jurassic Park?
That's correct.
Yeah, baby! Let's go.
My guess is going to be Evan Almighty. So
was it really? No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Was that really
no,
because
Evan Almighty. I wasn't sure if Evan Almighty came out before this or after this, so that was my only question. But Evan Almighty apparently had the most animals used in any movie. So I was like, that would be an interesting little tidbit. Is if they just that was where all those sounds went because they just had too many. But that is not what it is. It's Jurassic Park. That's so weird because that's not a movie he made. He made a lot of movies, but not that one.
Was Jurassic Park a 20th Century Fox movie? Because this was. So I wonder if it was just
no, because it was Spielberg.
No, Jurassic Park is Universal, I think.
Oh, it is, yeah. So yeah, go figure. There's no connection there.
They stole them. They should sue. They probably got a pretty good case.
Yeah, Tommy Tallarico should sue because he's the sound effects from another movie.
Yeah, your world record for most viewed movie, please. It's mine now. I have 3 new world records. Don't look at the other 2. They're hidden behind that first one.
I would like to just take credit for knowing that the guy's name was Max. I think that's why I won it.
Well, DJ, you win. Between knowing people's names and
Grace,
also
Max,
getting that
Park.
question right, I'm going to give it to you.
Huzzah!
Do you guys want to hear the actual summary?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm curious.
A paraplegic Marine dispatched to the moon Pandora on a unique mission becomes torn between following his orders and protecting the world he feels is his home.
I don't think paraplegic is an important part of his title. I think it exists, but I don't know why that's
it's an important part of his character arc. I feel like part of the reason he connects so strongly with his avatar is because he enjoys the freedom of, having his legs again.
That would be so great if at the end he's like, I think the Na'vi are great and all, but I'm really just in this for the legs. Like, the legs are a huge bonus.
Are you in love with me, Jake Sully? What do I have to say to get the legs? Yes.
I mean, that's his motivation for betraying them, right? Getting his legs.
I think he's just betraying him because he's bored. I don't
think the legs play that much.
I think he likes having the legs, but I also think he's just not doing anything that exciting, so he's going to betray.
Anyway,
I'm a military man, so
yeah.
Anyway, you guys were a big mistake in both of your summaries. You mentioned the name, the reason for the name Avatar, what an avatar is.
Yeah. And we didn't call it a moon, which is something I always forget.
I forget too.
Is that it is a moon of something.
Will it take place on the planet one day, I wonder?
If either of you had said moon. Maybe it's like Endor, where it's like the planet Endor is not really habitable, but the forest moon is.
I'd love to know.
That's right.
I'd love to know.
So teddy bears in 3. That's what we're getting.
Yeah.
Just throw it. I mean, that's pretty much what this is. Just like throwing rocks at the big old robot machines.
This is basically the Ewoks movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway. DJ's our winner, which means Nando's our loser, which means Nando, you have to tell us what happens in this movie.
Sorry, man.
So here's the problem. I talked about this a little bit before. I saw the extended edition, and you guys did not. So I might have extra details, but probably not. Otherwise, they'd be in the real movie. But it is something that, is... If you're like, that's not in the movie, that's probably why. It's because it's in there.
All right.
But, okay. So Jake Sully is a Marine, like we said. He was paralyzed in some sort of war in Venezuela. I remember that word being used, which is interesting. Yes. Because, I don't know, Venezuela comes up a lot in the news. He has a brother who is he's an Avatar guy, and he is like a nerd, big old nerd. He works with, what's her name, Dr. Grace, and he has a whole avatar made just for him, and you can only make him for one guy. So it's cool that he has his own, And
it's his twin brother.
That's right.
Important with the same genome.
Yes, the same genome. Which is that a thing?
Identical.
He's the smart one.
Identical twins do have identical DNA. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. So Jake's brother dies, and then they make him go to Pandora, and then he goes to do Avatar stuff. And they're like, "What your job is to go in and do whatever whoever tells you last to, like, whatever the last person that talked to you told you to do. That's your job." So sometimes Sigourney Weaver's telling him to, like, infiltrate the colony and learn their secrets or whatever, and be their friend and be nice. And sometimes the Giovanni Ribisi is telling him to betray them all and be a big old jerk. So there's like a little bit of that. He goes on his first mission. He becomes an avatar, and he's like really psyched, and he goes and runs around like an idiot. He also like just doesn't work well as like a member of a group in general. Like, he doesn't follow orders, but he takes in his first mission, they go to out into the forest, and he gets separated from them by a big old panther thingy after he touches a lot of things, and it's like, ooh, that one's orange, that one's pink. And then he's found by Zoe Saldana's one, and she's a Na'vi, and she protects him, and then they're in love. Not immediately, but like they are. And then we find out she used to work with Grace, I think, and Grace knew her sister. This was something I didn't remember from the original movie. Is this
that must be extended cut shit.
That's extended cut shit. That is not in what I watched.
I didn't think so. So yeah, we learned that Grace and her sister were buddies, and Grace taught the school to like teach the little Avatar kids English or whatever, like little missionary stuff, and like winning hearts and minds. Very Iraq War. Like they I feel like they use a couple of phrases. I can't remember what they are, but they go and do this and like set up this school, and then there was a Avatar protest or something, and Zoe Saldana's sister got killed, and like that's why Zoe Saldana doesn't trust the people. Yeah.
What do you know?
It's not that important because obviously the movie works without it, but it is like interesting that it's not in there.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, Jake becomes this like very oft maligned little like white savior movie kind of thing where Jake becomes the best Avatar. First of all, little jellyfish love him so much, and that is like a signal that he's their new god, probably, or something. Like that's in the original, right? Like the first time she sees him, the jellyfish love him. So he goes and then like trains with them, and some of them don't like him, some of them do, and then he eventually betrays them a little bit, and at the same time he falls in love with Zoe Saldana, and that's a whole big business because she's not supposed to fall in love with him. And then a lot of stuff happens. I don't know. Michelle Rodriguez is there. They go and they blow up the tree, and that's a big deal. And he told them how to blow up the tree, and then he didn't tell them. Like, what I'm kind of curious about is, if I missed this, what his job was. What is his stated job? If you asked him, like, if you asked someone to explain what he was doing there, what would they say?
Yeah, like I think that's something that's like very confusing, and I think it's something I wrote down as maybe a wheel chunk, but it probably didn't make it funny enough. But yeah, it's like they get mad at him, but it's like he's like, I'm here to learn from you, and it's like, why? And it's like, I don't know, cuz.
Yeah, and it's like, are you? Is that what your job has been this whole time? I didn't.
Yeah,
that was not made super clear to me. And also, the most important thing is there's a mineral underneath the tree that's very expensive called unobtainium. Ha 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 ha. And it's Giovanni Ribisi has a little bit of it on his desk, and he wants more of it. So
20,000 a kilo.
20 million a kilo. I should
no,
hope.
Yeah,
20,000 a kilo. Oh my god.
Whoops. Like what are we doing? This cost benefit analysis is terrible. Yeah, 20 million a kilo. Blah.
So they go blow up the tree. That causes a whole big thing. Jake has to tame the greatest pteranodon in the whole world, which is also kind of their god or something. And then him and Neytiri take over pretty much. Like they unite all the tribes, and then they go fight the bad guys. They win, but then they lose. But then all the animals of nature come and kill all the bad guys.
Because
Steve-
before the fight, he asked, like, the tree god, to, like, hey.
Right.
My favorite part was he's like, Grace is with you. Look into her mind. See our shitty world. That's what they're going to do here.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Fair
great argument.
And
Yeah, right.
we did see their shitty world in the original, the extended one, so I don't want to get into this, but, like, there's a whole fight, a scene where he goes to a bar and, like, gets in a bar fight with some guy who, like, hits his girlfriend at the bar, and then he, like, wheels chairs over to him and then knocks the bar stool out from under him and then just starts wailing on him. It's pretty good. But, the Earth in there is just insanely crowded. Like, it's like when Times Square gets turned into just no cars and just it's
Right.
packed with people, probably like now. And then his house, like apartment, is very small. It's like it's like a studio in New York where he has a projected TV on one whole wall, and then maybe about 6 feet of width, and then maybe like 10. It's like tiny. So that's kind of what he's working with. Basically, they live in New York now, but it's a good it's an interesting. I don't know. It was one of the first one of these where I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like we're right on our way. But yeah, so then he kills the guy. Also, yeah, Sigourney Weaver dies, but apparently not. We'll find out later. But they try to download her into the tree.
Well, they try to download her into her Na'vi body.
Right, through
and
the tree.
It does.
Yeah.
She can't get out of the tree once she's there, or she
Right.
died on the way. It's not very clear in this movie.
You have to
Yeah.
pass through the eye of Awa to be success. And she sees Awa and is with Awa, but I guess doesn't pass through Awa. She's
That's
too
right.
weak.
And she is like, I didn't really talk about her. She is the like one who's gonna be like the cool nature one. She has a Stanford shirt on all the time. She likes nature and being cool. And like,
She's
like
dressed
I said,
like Laura Croft for whatever reason.
and she like taught them English, like or something. So like that's
Which, like, why? How is that helpful?
for fun.
So they can communicate.
bored.
Although,
Yeah.
DJ, I'm curious, who's Laura Croft?
Lara Croft?
There we
What's
go.
that? Oh, God.
I was gonna say I didn't know Lara Croft went to Stanford. That would be a much bigger part of the games.
She probably did. She's super smart, right?
Yeah,
So
she's a
probably.
smart cookie. But yeah, so in the end, Jake kills all the guys. Most of the bad guys die. A couple of the good guys die. Jake and Neytiri are in love now. He's full Avatar because he did go through the tree and get turned into himself.
Yeah.
And that's like a big victory for them. I feel like, does anything else happen in this movie? Did I forget anything? I don't know. Like, it's a lot of like him learning to like, oh, here's how you ride the horse, and here's how you get your dragon, and here's how you this is our dance we do and stuff. So, you know,
A lot of other stuff does happen, but that suffices as a summary.
yeah,
From
like
a plot perspective, like, you've seen Pocahontas, so, you know.
yeah, and it's that like that joke's been made to death, but only because it's true. It's just it's an insanely like not like insanely, but a very derivative plot of Fern Gully, Pocahontas, Dances with Wolves, all that stuff, and like
Yeah.
I do think going back and looking at it now, like I said, all that stuff is true. It's not like the most interesting critique of it, but it's like, yeah, I mean, it is those things. That is the movie that we watched.
Yeah, no, like, I don't even mean that as criticism. Like, it literally is the movie, and it's like, take
Yeah.
it, as you will, and it's like, there's cool visuals and stuff, but as for, like, what happens in the movie, there you have it. I guess nature doesn't fight back in Pocahontas. I guess if you wanted to say, well, it's different there.
There's some
I haven't
other
seen Pocahontas
differences
in so
I think
long.
exist that I would bring up, but we can get to that later.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that there is some sort of like nature defends itself moment in Pocahontas. I feel like probably the raccoon rides the something into battle or something like that, and then the tree beats up some guys. Right? Is that in Pocahontas?
That's fair.
Tree is a lady, but yeah, and
Tree is a lady.
that's the thing about the Na'vi and the whole explaining this movie. Everything is their god. The tree is their god. The big dinosaur and Jake now. He's kind of like their Neo, basically, but it's. And like but the tree is connected to everything else because of the it's the force, and I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, and everyone saw it. Everyone on Earth saw it. So also it ends with them just perp walking all the guys back onto the plane, and then that's it.
Like, go back to Earth.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
like,
come
no,
back.
it's stinky there. We don't want to go back to Earth.
Yeah. And I want to say, does Giovanni Ribisi survive the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Giovanni
He looks really
Ribisi
sad.
Is like a
The-
businessman.
Yeah.
He just doesn't care. The military men who actively want to kill everything on Pandora are the ones who die.
Yeah, Colonel Ass Kicker.
Although, spoiler alert, he will be in the next one in some capacity. So
how? His son or something? Like,
I don't know. Maybe he also got downloaded into the tree. I mean, he didn't, but maybe
sick.
That's what they're going to tell us happened.
Is he really going to be in the next one?
He is. I mean, maybe he's going to be there. Yeah, maybe he'll be the other son. Maybe they'll have Sigourney Weaver and him will be the babies.
That would be funny.
Yeah, I mean, it could be flashbacks, but I don't know. I feel like it probably won't, since Sigourney Weaver is playing a new character who is a human, or not human, but a child of Jake, like a younger person than he should be. It's quite bizarre. Yeah, that's it. There's a lot of animals and stuff, and they're all blue. There's little cat people.
Everything's blue.
Yeah.
Blue or
A lot of
purple?
blue, a lot of blue and purple. Yep.
Let's get that out of the way right now. Let's just throw that one out there.
Yeah. This movie also came out right as Princess and the Frog came out, I think.
Yeah.
So if you want to blame any movie for why Princess and the Frog isn't a huge mega hit, you blame this probably.
Because everyone was too busy seeing Avatar.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know. That's all there is. And I think we named all the actors, right? Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang is the military man, the dodgeball kid. Oh. Any other famous people in this?
I actually have a question for you.
Yeah.
Who, by 2022 standards, is the most famous actor in this movie?
I mean,
Zoe
it's still
Saldana.
Sigourney Weaver.
No, it's Zoe Saldana.
I'm so glad you two said that, because exactly right. I think it's a huge toss-up between those two.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zoe Saldana is one of the most... She has been in 3 mega franchises, including this one.
And The Terminal.
And The Terminal, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And, yeah, I feel like...
but Sigourney Weaver was in Paul, so it's impossible to say.
That's true, yeah. I mean, to be fair, DJ didn't believe Sigourney Weaver existed until very recently. So
no, I've always believed. I've always believed.
You didn't believe, and it's
believe
clear.
hard enough. I do disagree with Nando. My opinion is it's Zoe Saldana, but I don't think it's like super clear cut. Like,
it's weird. She's not like a megastar in that she can lead a movie by herself. But she like, and she maybe could, but like they tried that with that Colombiana movie, I think was what it was called. Didn't really go anywhere. But she should, like, in like the Guinness Book of World Records, she probably has the highest box office of any actor in anything. Because she's been in this, all the Marvel movies, and the Star Treks, and probably some other stuff I forgot, and The Terminal. So, yeah.
I do think by 2009 standards it was Sigourney Weaver, but in today's standards I do think Zoe Saldana is probably like taking that.
I don't know. I just feel like, call me Quentin Tarantino, but I feel like a lot of her roles are not like you think of Zoe Saldana first. It's like you think of the role first. Whereas Sigourney Weaver, like, everything she's done is she's Sigourney Weaver. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm curious about that, like how people that aren't super familiar, mostly with Aliens, if you haven't seen those movies, what do you like think? Do people like that know who Sigourney Weaver is? And like, because it's this, Galaxy Quest, and Aliens. Those are my big reference points for her. I don't even know what else she's been in, honestly. Like,
I told you, Paul.
Well, yeah, that's true. She's in Paul. I think she does like some voice work in something that I kind of like. Oh, yeah, she's in Ghostbusters. That's right. That's the other one. But, yeah, she's interesting. I mean, she seems cool. I like her. She's weird in this, but she's cool. But, yeah, so, DJ, as the winner, what did you think of this movie?
Okay. I think this movie is fine. It's very fine. Like, okay. 2009, DJ, like, went to IMAX and saw this movie in IMAX. It was like, oh, that was like so cool. And like, I'll admit, like, I bought into the hype. Like, I really, really did buy into the hype. I'm like, it's so cool. See all the big, like, the Banshee and the dragons, and oh, it was so big, and oh my god, it was so cool. And at the time, I'm like, wow, what a great movie. And now I think it's like, I don't know, it's fine. It's very fine. And like, I don't think it does anything super novel that I guess, I don't know if you want to count like the technological achievement or whatever. Like, it's a solid like 6 out of 10 for me. It's way too long, I think, is the problem, and like the reason it's long is
says someone who watched the regular version. You don't even know.
Exactly.
Even longer.
Exactly.
It'd be worse.
So I think it's unfortunately it becomes one of those things where it's like this movie just kind of fades into the just like cultural milieu with like, oh yeah, that Avatar movie that was big in 2009, it was the biggest movie ever, and blah blah blah. But like, I think outside of the technical merit, it's hard for this movie to stand on its own. And I've gone to Disney World, and I went to Pandora Land, and I rode the super dope ride. Like, the Flight of Passage Avatar ride is sick. But, like, that area of Disney World is, like, fine. It's, obviously a giant cash grab. Whatever. But, like, as far as this movie goes, it's, like, it's very fine. So, yeah. Don't love it. Don't hate it. Super in the middle. Classic DJ take. Right in the middle. Staying on character. Not saying anything super hot takey. So, yeah, I guess I'm staying on brand for this one. Yeah,
so I guess if that's the case, then between Nando and I, one of us is going to hate it and one of us is going to love it.
Probably?
Yeah. Probably. I'll go first, and I'll be the one who hates it, maybe? I don't hate it. No, I think it's fine. I think the problem with this movie is, again, the version I watched is way too long, but I think the other one is also way too long. It's just not very good. Like, it's cool and it's impressive, but like, it's not like when you, its parts don't match up to anything bigger. It's not bigger than the sum of its parts, or maybe it is. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Like, the lead is fine. The whole plot is fine. The visuals are cool, but also once you've seen them a couple of times, it's not that incredible. And, it's fine, but I don't know. It's weird. I think my biggest problem with this movie is it popularized the 3D TV movie gimmick that has died since then. So, like, I don't even think watching it at home on a pretty decent TV even counts as, like, really seeing it. I'm sure that's what James Cameron would say. And that sucks. Like, I don't like that. But, yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time having any strong feelings for this movie. Like,
yeah, totally.
It's just there. But it was cool when I saw it. I saw it 3 times in theaters. That was how much I liked it. And I was wrong. It was not worth that many times. I should have gone see Princess Frog 3 times. But, yeah. I don't know. Diggins, do you have strong feelings about this movie?
Well, so I also saw this movie when it came out. I only saw it once, unlike you guys. And I walked out of it going, that movie's fine. It's very pretty. It's one of the only times 3D has ever worked for me. I mean, literally. It usually literally doesn't even work because my eyes are bad. But yeah, so yeah, back then I walked out of it. I was like, that was fine. I only saw it once, etc. Then I watched it today for this podcast, and you know what, guys? This movie's pretty good.
Nice.
It's a pretty good movie.
I'll take your word for it. What did you like about it?
Man.
I don't know. Maybe it's because its reputation has become so negative since it came out. Or
there
not,
it is.
like, negative because it's boring or fine or whatever. No. I'm not saying I like it because other people don't. If at most, that makes me willing to give it more of a chance. But I think it's actually a very well-made movie. Yes, it's predictable. It's not especially original, but that doesn't mean it's not well-made. I think it actually crafts its story pretty competently and effectively. I didn't feel that 3-hour runtime. It glided by for me. And yeah, I mean, look, none of the characters are especially deep. Yes, the plot is more or less just a bunch of other indigenous versus invaders kind of stories you've seen before. But as far as those things go, it's a pretty good one of those. And also the visuals are genuinely really nice. Like, this movie's CGI holds up better than movies we've seen that were made after this.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them by many years.
Yeah.
The CGI is genuinely an achievement. I mean, sure, if you watch it now, it shows its age in some spots, but it's still very impressive. So yeah, I kind of like this movie.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said.
Me neither.
I do think, though, we are weighting Sam Worthington's performance differently in our reviews of it, in that I think that was my biggest barrier here, and I don't know. Like, it's fine, but it's not like... I think if this movie had someone like Chris Pine, I would be, like, on board. It doesn't have to be Chris Pine. Oh, maybe. Mm-hmm. But, like, yeah, someone with a little bit more, zhuzh. But, I can't... It's hard to say exactly, like, what I would have needed. But that and some of the writing's just not very good. Like... I think a lot of this movie feels like watching a cutscene from a video game. And, like, to the point where I have it on the wheel, but, like, I forget what the first line she says to him is. When Sigourney Weaver is an avatar for the first time, and she sees Jake for the first time. Do you guys remember what she says to him?
It's like, what were you expecting? Like, something like that?
It's, hey, numbnuts. That's like, it's just, like, I don't know. There's a lot of that. I think the stuff with Navi is fine because it's like, it's written the way that it's written. But like some of the ways that people talk in this movie, I didn't find like unrealistic. I just found like strange. And I think between that and some of the performances, I just wasn't really connecting with it. And if I did, I would probably like it as much as other people did. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It is good though. Like it looks nice, and he's good in it. Well, not he's good. James Cameron's something, but I don't know, maybe he's good. But
James Cameron is doing a good artistic job in that the movie is well directed. I will leave commentary on his on-set conduct for another forum.
And that's the other part of it that's weird too. Is like it's so weird that he was the only writer on this movie, and it
is it.
No, I mean it's weird in practice. It feels like it.
Oh,
but like
sure.
just that,
I gotcha.
That part of it, I think, is like, and I know some people love what's his name, M. Night Shyamalan, but it's like, man, get one more writer, dude. But like, I don't. The next one of these has 3 other writers on it, which may be too many, but also maybe that's what I need for the dialogue to feel a little bit less. Whatever it was, I don't know. What did you guys think of the whole? Did you guys have a favorite part or favorite character? Who was everybody's favorite guy?
Oh God, don't make me answer. No, it's the guy whose name I couldn't figure out. God, what's his name?
You're gonna have to be more specific.
The one who leads the war party right at the climax of the movie, and then spoiler alert dies.
It's Sute.
He's probably my favorite. He fucking gets it.
He does get it.
Well, no, he doesn't get it. Jake gets it.
He should have gotten it, though.
True. He should have gotten it.
Cool and tough.
I like Trudy, Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh, my God.
Really?
Yeah, that's the other one. That actually, she's got some choice lines in this movie. Maybe worse than Numbnuts. I feel like I think Stephen Lang's the most interesting, like the most fun to watch in this movie.
I mean, yeah.
He can deliver schlock in a way that I think maybe Sam Worthington can't. And it just feels fun and natural. He gets
to be the villain, and being the villain is fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
And, yeah, he's pretty fun. I do think, what did you guys... Okay, so when you first saw this, like, you liked it, kind of. Or, like, at least you were kind of into it.
I really enjoyed it when I first saw it, yes.
What did you think, like, it, like, was when you first saw it? Did you know it was going to be, like, Pocahontas Dances with Wolves stuff, or were you just like...
Oh, no.
Yes.
I was, like, I didn't know.
I didn't see it, like, opening day, so I had heard, like, yeah, it's basically just, like, Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, I just heard, like, big, shiny movie, like, looks fun. That's, like, as far as I knew. So I was, like, totally, surprised, but, like, I didn't see anything coming.
So you're saying you didn't see it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's fun. That's the way to see it, I guess. Is like, well, because it's like, it's tough. Because it did both become the biggest pop culture, phenomenon ever for like a year, maybe less probably. But like, when was the last time you saw it besides for this?
I think right before going to Disney World with Michelle, because we were going to ride the ride and go to Pandora Land. She's like, I kind of want to see this movie, so I like am in on it. I want to know what's happening. So yeah, that. So 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Yeah.
Has your opinion changed on it at all?
From like, I hadn't seen it since then, and I'm like, why did I like this movie so much? And it was because it was like on a like. I truly think that, like, if I were to watch this again on IMAX, I'd be like, oh, wow, how cool. But, like, Just watching it on my TV, I'm like, this is fine.
So are you going to see Avatar on an IMAX screen?
I mean, if we're doing it for on an IMAX screen, no, there's no IMAX near me, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah,
So
it's tough with movies like this, and I feel like this happens with sound a lot. I'll hear directors talking about the real way you're supposed to watch their movie, and it's with this high quality sound system, or with this, IMAX comes up a lot too, and it's like, that's all great and stuff, but like, what if I don't have that movie theater at my house? Like, how do I just not get to watch the best one? Do I watch the inferior version and then hope that my small town builds an IMAX theater somewhere near?
Because I'm a poor lesser.
It's weird. I don't know. I have trouble with that, but
I mean, it's easily solved. Just live in a major city like me.
That's right. Yeah, join society and throw that old home boyfriend to the curb and find a new big city boyfriend, and then you go home for Christmas, and then you fall back in love with the old boyfriend from the curb. That's the season. We're in Hallmark movie season of moving to the big city and finding love.
It is cuffing season.
That's what they say. Why do they say that, by the way? Is it handcuffs? Is that what they're getting at with that?
I have no idea what the etymology is, but you know what it means, right?
I do, and that's why I'm like, is it supposed to be like, I'm handcuffed to this person, Because, like, that's the only etymology I can figure out for that. Nobody knows. I've asked many people this, and no one's quite sure.
Well, I'm looking it up on Merriam-Webster.
Let me know what she says.
She'll know. She always knows.
She's got a lot of good information about stuff like that.
According to Merriam-Webster, the use of the word cuff references handcuffs, but is slang in the same vein as hooking up or getting hitched.
So it is a negative. It feels like something that, like, it's strange to say.
Well, it's considered, it's supposed to be like short term, right? Like it's specifically saying short term relationships.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what it was. I thought it just meant relationships. That's interesting. Speaking of interesting things, I have a wheel about this movie, you guys.
Oh, you do? Nice.
Yeah, it'll help us talk about it because the movie is pretty long. And it's not a long wheel. It's 10 things on the wheel. So we'll probably skip a bunch of them. But you guys, I'm going to spin the wheel. Landed on one of DJ's. This one's Marines Hate Disabled People. It's an interesting movie from the perspective of, like, probably the highest profile movie about a disabled character, right?
Right.
Just in terms of box office, it has to be, unless it's Avengers. But
yeah, it's a huge part of his character. They put it in the IMDb summary.
That's true.
And it is just like, we are just gonna fucking bag on like that. James Cameron's like, oh, I know how to write these Marines. It's gonna fucking, they just hate disabled people so much. Rah. So that's like weird, right?
Yeah, it is weird.
It is. I mean, let's be real. Anybody who voluntarily joins the U.S. Army is probably a jerk.
You kind of figure, like, I would figure normal, like, non-Marine people would be the jerks about it. Wouldn't you assume the Marines would be a little bit more, like, understanding?
Hey man, we don't know what the times were like.
Well, like, is he the only person this has ever happened to? Like, that's the whole thing. Is like, people that happened to, and you're like, oh, you have a little empathy. But this is the only person that's ever had some sort of.
You see, I think I know what the problem is here, which is they just see him and they don't realize that he's a vet. Because if you see a normie who's paralyzed, then they're pathetic and you hate them. But if you see a vet who's paralyzed, then he's a hero.
He looks so vet. It's not even funny in these movies. Like, he looks like the G.I. Joe doll from the old ones that they used to sell before they turned into, like, cool, special forces guys when it was just a Barbie doll for boys. Like, he is, and that's part of it. He's just so bland. I would have to assume that's what that guy's here for. But
do you think that, like, if it was, like, instead of Sam Worthington, if it was like a, I don't know, Chris Pine, that, like,
or if it was,
get more into it,
say, Matt Damon, who James Cameron tried to get to be in the movie?
Yes, and he was going to give him, like, points on the back end or something like that.
Yep.
He was going to
offered him crypto. That would have done it.
God, that's what he's trying to get back at. He wants to. This is his unobtainium, is cryptocurrency. He's going into space to try to find some and tell us to be bold because he made the biggest mistake of his life.
Yeah.
This is like
I wasn't bold, so you should be.
Is this the worst one of those ever? I think it's got to be, right?
What about Will Smith declining being in The Matrix?
It's got to be that, Will Smith Matrix, or Sean Connery Gandalf. But I do know that the Matt Damon Avatar one, he was going to get some sort of like cut of the profits
on the back
yeah.
end, yeah.
Insane. Like, but I think Gandalf was something equally crazy. I don't know which franchises made more money, over the course of the 3 movies that Gandalf is in, if you don't count the Hobbits, but like, it's got to be one of these 2. And I don't know. Do you know the legs that he has are little prosthetics? They're like little fake legs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah.
His real legs are CGI'd out.
I think they're in the chair. I think he's like on a little scooter, like on his knees, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Like so he's got the little legs. It is an interesting premise of like, he likes doing this because of being able to walk and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like about 5 minutes into Avataring, I kind of forgot that was his whole thing.
That's why I think it's weird that it's in the summary, because I don't think it's a crucial part of his character.
It's left as a very background thing. Like it's kind of when he first wakes up and he's just like running and feeling great. I feel like that's the last time they really draw attention to it. But it is kind of like a thing throughout the movie. Yeah.
It comes up every so often. I guess it's like he has a couple of hooks into wanting to be an avatar, and it's pretty quickly like he falls in love with what's her name, Neytiri, but I guess it is at that point he's still like really, he's 90% legs and 10% Neytiri. And then it switches. But yeah.
I mean, those avatars are so tall, they got to be some percentage legs.
That's true. I mean, what do you think of that avatar designs in general?
Them big.
Strange, very strange. I think the boobs are the worst part for me.
Yeah.
Which I've also read is something James Cameron was very specific about. He wanted them to have boobs even though they wouldn't need them because that's not how they work. But he wanted that to seem like human.
Is it not how they work?
Yeah, wait.
We have a wheel slice for this, I think, but
I don't believe they. I think the way that the Na'vi work, they shouldn't need them.
Okay.
I have a question as a follow up. Mm-hmm. So it seems like the Avatar, do the Avatar have male and female genitalia?
We have a whole wheel slice for this, DJ.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, let me spin the wheel again. Let's see what I get. Oh, I got this one. So do they got big blue dicks or what? This is one of Diggins's. So do they? Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
because they don't have sex like that.
Exactly.
But do they?
It's the hair. They have sex with the hair.
Part of the hair's so they can experience the pleasure of the other one while they're doing it. But I don't think it is the method of doing it.
So they have big blue dicks, is what you're saying.
Do they got big blue dicks?
If you Google do Na'vi, the first thing that comes up is have genitalia.
Well, what does Google tell you?
I'll tell you. This is Quora, so...
Ooh, safe search, all right?
You're gonna fight. We're gonna learn something. Wait, so that's not the answer to that question. Sometimes I get a Quora answer, and I'm like, that doesn't... It's just not good.
That's not what I asked for. Quora,
this is
Uh,
just racism.
Yeah. Okay, I found something. So the Na'vi, like pretty much every animal life form on Pandora, have 2 antennae, usually braided into their hair, that act as extensions of their nervous system. Connecting them causes the brain thing. For obvious reasons, perhaps the most intimate activity two beings can share, but it is not mating. The transfer of genetic material is done via more, quote, traditional sexual organs. Female Na'vi have breasts and internal genitalia, and then, we kind of get it. The underwear serves the most practical purpose of all, to keep everything from moving around. But the question was, why do they wear loincloths if they have ponytail genitalia? And it's that's the answer.
Okay, so what you're saying is they do got big blue dicks.
According to this person, yes. And this is the most upvoted answer on this pretty popular question.
And big blue,
they've got it all. You name it, they've got it. And
I was kind of hoping they had cloacas, to be honest. Although here's another question. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but proportional to our bodies, humans have the biggest dicks in the mammal, in the animal kingdom.
It's not whales.
No, proportional to our bodies. Obviously, whales, in absolute terms, have much bigger dicks.
Proportional to DJ's body. How big? Yeah.
But proportional to a whale's body, its dick is not that big.
Right,
Gotcha.
I understand.
So, how do we think the deal is for Na'vi? Do they got, huge swinging dicks, or are they kind of small relative to their bodies, like, say, a gorilla?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
I think they got big blue dicks.
You think they got big blue dicks?
Yeah, that's what I guess.
Oh, okay. I found it. I found the quote that I was looking for.
Oh, good.
Great.
This is in an interview. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the actual interview just to make triple sure, because I don't want to quote and feel like an idiot. But I do think I've heard
No
this quote
misquotes on
before.
this podcast ever.
That's right.
Especially not about big blue dicks.
Let me just double, triple check. Hold on.
If there's one thing in this world that you can trust us about, it's Na'vi genitalia.
Okay. So here we go. During a interview with Playboy magazine, this is James Cameron's own
This
words.
is promising.
This is James Cameron's words. Right from the beginning, I said, she's got to have tits, even though that makes no sense because her race, the Na'vi, are not placental mammals. There you go.
Oh, okay.
So,
Are they?
I don't know.
Not placental
They
mammals.
probably have the tree has the babies. The tree
Do
does
they
everything
lay
else.
eggs? Wait,
Maybe.
do they lay eggs? Are they like
I don't know.
are they like echidnas where they're mammals and they do the traditional mammal sex, but also they lay eggs?
No. Let's Google this. How are not like I feel like
How
this,
do Na'vi reproduce?
this feels like one of those like a certain writer who likes to just tweet things that don't make any sense. Like it feels like one of those moments where that doesn't work. But according to this,
How many times does the word ovipositor come up?
I don't know what that word is, but it has not come up yet.
It's part of bird genitalia.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't. Apparently, it's not. It's not like explicitly said how they do reproduce.
Well, it's
I know
probably the
that.
tree then. I'm with
I
Fred,
watched
though.
the movie. I know
Right,
it's
right.
not
But
explicitly said.
we know what it's not. According to James Cameron, the guy who
It's
knows
not
everything,
placenta.
not placental. So yeah.
So there's
Maybe-
no Na'vi milk, is what you're saying.
You can't
No,
milk
yeah,
a
none.
Na'vi. Terrible.
That's the real resource that they're trying to get. The company's like, we need that sweet Na'vi milk.
Na'vi milk.
The Way of Milk, number
Wait,
3.
guys, is that
Avatar.
where blue milk comes from?
It is.
Ah!
That's what Luke Skywalker was milking. Just a really out of shape Na'vi that had kind of given up on Planet Octu or whatever. Yeah, so they have belly buttons, which implies they were once connected to their mother by an umbilical cord. This is more interesting information about this,
true.
but again, not placental. So
Well, we see the fake ones have an umbilical cord. We literally see the umbilical cord, but they're in their little pod.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I guess
but those
the real
are
ones
also
have them too.
mixtures of Avatar, of like
Right.
Na'vi and human DNA. I don't think they're
Oh wait,
fully
so
Na'vi.
do they make milk? If it's a hybrid, like, do they maybe?
Would,
I think-
if Sigourney Weaver had gotten pregnant, would she have started milking?
I'm going to say yes. Also, in the picture of the new one of them is pregnant and has a baby in their belly. So
Well, I
I
guess
don't
James
know what
Cameron's
that
full of shit.
means. Yeah, he's got to get his shit together if he wants me to take this movie seriously at
well,
all.
they do live births and pregnancies and all that, but there's just no placenta.
I guess so. Interesting. And they shouldn't have boobs, according to James. I wonder
they
if
Serve
he
no
does
purpose.
that about
They're
all of his
purely
movies.
aesthetic boobs.
He's like, I want to make sure. You got to give that Terminator big old boobs, otherwise what's the point of all this, you know? That feels like something he actually
why he
probably did
cast-
say at one point.
That's why he cast Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
See, again, I feel like James Cameron is clearly very good, but it's just Sam Worthington and it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's something not quite... I would love to see this movie with Arnold
I think
in the driver's
Sam
seat.
Worthington is extremely comparable to the shitty little kid from Terminator 2, who is the
Yeah,
technical main
that's-
character.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot closer to it. Yeah, he's John Connor. I forget that actor's name, but yeah, that's a good one. I'm glad we learned that about. So, but they do have dicks. That's good to know.
They have big
dicks.
blue dicks.
They got dicks, and they have sex like humans do.
But not to reproduce, just for that sweet, sweet pleasure.
Well,
Yep. Well,
Like
no,
I
dolphins.
think they do reproduce that way. That's what the
they
core
do it
answer
just to
would say.
reproduce. The pleasure is the tail.
right.
The
Well,
antenna
no,
thing.
again, the sharing your hair braids just makes you experience the things the other person is experiencing. So it's like you're having sex with them and you're also having sex with yourself.
Now.
Is it incentive to be good at sex? Because then if you would be bad, it would be bad for you also.
So wait, DJ.
Yeah, what's in it for me? Says
Yeah.
Jake Sully.
Wow, I feel really bad for
get out of
Michelle
this
all of a sudden.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, finally. Wait a second, this affects me? All right, well, we're gonna have to
have to
start
step
taking
up
this
our game.
seriously. That would be really
Damn
funny,
it.
though, if you did do that. Like, through Avatar, you had sex, and you went, oh, no, I'm really bad at this. This isn't working at all. I had no idea. I thought I was crushing it.
You know, I was kind of thinking, like, in that scene where they get down and dirty, when they get nasty with each other,
Yep.
it starts with them, like, you know, obliquely confessing that they love each other, and then he, like, goes in for the kiss, and they start making out. And,
Yeah.
like, what if he had gone in for the kiss, and she was like, what is this? What are you doing?
Right? I thought that would have been so funny.
yeah.
But what if he introduced her, like, he showed them kissing, and she was like, you guys, I know they've been pretty bad to us, but we got to hear these guys out. They've got some interesting, they can teach us their ways. Sigourney Weaver did not tell us about this at school.
What if they...
Sky
too
people
important.
can work it. They can work it. They know what they're doing.
What if that wasn't how they mate, and they don't normally have sex, and then, you know,
Yeah.
he took her to the bone zone, and she was like, oh my god, guys, you're not
Yeah.
going to believe this.
Burn
That's
the
why we have
witch. We
these.
need to throw him into the way of fire in the third one.
This whole time, we didn't know why we had these, and apparently we're supposed to stick that in that, and that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Wait a second. So what do you guys use them for? The horses. When we get in our horses.
Oh, no.
I'm glad we all have information about that
Nando.
now. I'm going to go. You guys can hang out at your tree. I think we're going to be good on unobtainium. I think we just have more than enough, so we're going to just go. It's weird. It's weird because part of the problem with this movie with me is I don't understand what the Na'vi get out of this at all. Like,
They don't. That's the whole thing.
Out of
Right?
sex.
right. So, no, out of the whole agreement of the people are there and being avatars.
Yeah.
Like, what is the benefit of having an avatar at all?
I think what they get out of it is they don't have a say.
Well, right,
Yeah.
but then why bother?
Just kill all of them.
Well, they don't.
Yeah.
Avatar
They
comes
don't
in.
like the avatars at the start of the movie. They're like dreamwalkers. Oh, these guys suck. Blah blah blah. But then they let Jake Sully in because of the jellyfish and everything.
Yeah. Well, I guess
He was
it's more of a
chosen by the
question
tree
of
god.
why does Giovanni Ribisi let him do it, or why does anybody go do Na'vi stuff in the forest?
Well, I think Giovanni
we'll just
Ribisi
Have to fight you on it.
I think if they had gotten a deal where, like, they didn't have to go, like, they were willing to leave and, like, let the tree be mined, and they didn't have to, you know, go in and burn up the tree and kill a bunch of Na'vi, I think he would have been fine with that. He'd been like, yeah, absolutely. Safer for everybody. Let's do it. He just doesn't care enough to not kill them when they won't leave.
I guess my question is, why not just start with killing him? That's my question.
That's opening salvo.
He says it's a PR nightmare when you kill indigenous people.
Yeah, but also, that's what they do anyway, so whatever.
Yeah,
Just
Again,
lie.
seem to
That's
have
how it
hang-ups
usually happens
later.
in the world. Did they
Yeah,
not
there's no
learn
news
anything?
reporters there on Pandora.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's just a matter of he would prefer not to kill them, but he's still amoral enough to do it if that's what they have to do.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Speaking of that, I spun the wheel again, landed on one of DJ's, I think. They were fighting for freedom.
That's
Yeah,
one of
about
mine.
that.
Oh, Diggins? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so in that little opening monologue where he also gets made fun of for being disabled, Jake Sully is like looking around at all the soldiers on the Pandora base, and he's like, they're ex-Marines like me. You know, back when they were Marines, they were fighting for freedom. But now they're just like a bunch of grunts for a corporation. And it's like, what do you think they were doing when they were Marines, Jake Sully? What do you
Yeah.
think you were doing? Do you think it's that much different than invading an indigenous planet and, like, killing its inhabitants for their natural resources? It's pretty much exactly like that, Jake Sully.
I mean, maybe, like, we don't know. Maybe they had a, like, World War II situation in Venezuela where it was, like, a war that everybody was like, I guess we got to do this, and they fought for the freedoms, And then that's why everybody's so, like, Jake Sully's so bright-eyed in this situation.
I'm sure whatever reason they invaded Venezuela in this timeline has nothing to do with all the oil that's there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. That's true. But, I mean, I don't know. We don't have all the information
Yeah, you
about
have all
the
the facts,
Venezuelan
Diggins.
war.
They were fighting for freedom.
Hopefully that's in Avatar 5 or something.
It's just funny to me because this is a movie that is, like, it's genuinely quite anti-militarism and even anti-American militarism specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you still got to throw that one in so that people can be like, oh, but American Army is good, though.
Well, yeah, it is interesting because this movie came out in 2009, which was like Obama had just become president.
Uh-huh.
And written in on this kind of the Iraq War was a mistake. At least that's how he got over on Clinton. And
I mean, the Iraq War was
like,
a mistake, let's be clear.
Or wasn't. Yeah. Exactly. And then they so I guess it's interesting because it's like, was this one of our first movies where that was what the movie was about?
Oh, definitely not. The Iraq War had started 6 years before this.
Well, yeah, but it took a while for everybody to come around on it. Like, even Hillary was not, even in 2008 was pretty,
It took a while for the general public to come around on it, but, arts types were against it pretty much from the start.
That's true, those artsy fartsies. Because you got Iron Man, that's one of them. That's 2008. But, what's the first anti-Iraq War metaphor movie that you can remember?
Oh, jeez.
I can't think of any. There was, Jarhead, which was, about how war is boring, kind of. But that wasn't quite this. That, the military is the bad guys. And that's not even really what Iron Man was, but, that was what they were getting at.
War Dogs? That Jonah Hill movie?
That was after this, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was after this.
But are we positing that this might be it?
I'm wondering, because, if in 2009 when this came out, part of what we liked about this was that it was one of the first big giant Hollywood movies to be you shouldn't do an Iraq war.
Right.
Because I just wonder what our timetable on that was culturally. But it's pretty good.
I feel like it can't possibly be, but I'm drawing a blank about examples.
Same. I want to look up highest grossing movies of 2007. Because I think if you don't count that, Iron Man is probably it comes out before this, so that's up there. But I don't know, Harry Potter, Shrek the Third, Transformers.
Shrek
but
the
no,
Third.
because we had our Transformers movies back then when the Marines were cool and sweet and ran around with guns and
Transformers
sent
is one
Will
of our
Smith
biggest
to Cuba.
Pro-Iraq War metaphors.
Exactly. And this was the height of Bay. Michael Bay is the coolest. Those times. 300 also came out in 2007.
Oh boy.
I think we just may not have figured it out quite in movies yet, and obviously it takes a while for that to for you to make the movie that is based on the metaphor that everyone's kind of understand culturally at the time. But I don't know if it isn't B movie. I can't think of a 2007 movie. I don't remember what the message of B movie was.
Have you guys seen B movie?
I have seen it. I know there's a big lawsuit at the end, right, or something.
It's actually about the Iraq War. The Bees are suing the American government over the Iraq War.
Oh,
finally,
good.
someone took them to task.
Yep.
For their crimes. Yeah, I don't know. If anybody has an example of one of these, a movie came out before Avatar that was a very anti-military kind of we all knew what the movie was about kind of movie. But obviously, after 2001. I'd be curious to see what it was. But you guys, Jake Sully's not super bright. He's
That's
not
true.
dumb
No.
though.
Well, he's a... Hold on.
He's a human man.
He is a human man.
Beautiful brain.
But
For some of the movie,
The Jarhead Clan.
he's one of the Jarhead
Like
clan.
that joke? Like that
I
joke?
love that joke. That was a good joke. And Stephen Lang was really proud of him for that joke. What happened to Diggins? Did Diggins die?
no, I'm
Oh,
here.
is he okay?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
God damn it. Where is it? I'm trying to find moron in Navi.
Oh.
I can't find it. Whatever.
He's a moron,
Just
though.
go to the Navi dictionary.
I am at the Navi
That's what he's
dictionary.
on.
I've had it pulled up this whole time.
What do you think he's looking for? Just looking for papers on his table?
Well, I thought maybe-
Where's all my Navi writings?
I thought maybe it was scanning the movie or some shit. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that'd be wild.
Do it. Scan the movie, Diggins.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I know the scene you're talking about where they're really insulting him and being like, this guy sucks. But, does Jake, because I saw an honest trailers of this, or not honest trailer, what's the other one? How It Should Have Ended of this today.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is a re-release or if they just did it for the first time. But they've been around since before. They came out after Avatar, so maybe they've never gotten to it. Does Jake ever explain to them if you don't, if you let them have the minerals under your tree, they'll leave?
I don't think so.
Not that we see.
Was
That was in the extended cut that you watched?
No,
'Cause I
and then
figured
it's
that's where that would have been.
Is that what somebody wants him to do? Is Sigourney Weaver cool. You get their trust, and then you'll tell them the deal.
Sigourney Weaver definitely doesn't want that. I think the businessman, Giovanni Ribisi, would like him to do that.
Wait, then what does Sigourney Weaver think is going to happen? They're just not going to get any of the unobtainium?
Well, I think they're getting unobtainium. It's just that the biggest deposit is under the tree. It's not like...
Okay.
So I think she's just like... She either doesn't know that's where the biggest deposit is, or just assumes that they're, at the very least going to exhaust the veins they already have before they do something.
Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. By the way, I spun the wheel again, landed on one of DJ's, the jealous nerd from Dodgeball.
The jealous nerd from Dodgeball.
Now, not the jealous nerd in Dodgeball, the jealous nerd from this movie that is also in Dodgeball. Or is he the jealous nerd in Dodgeball? I don't remember what part he plays.
He's not a jealous nerd in Dodgeball.
He's just kind of there, right? He's like their accountant or something in Dodgeball.
He just goes to the gym. He is a nerd, but like he doesn't like. I don't know what his thing is.
I don't think he has one. I think he falls in love with the big Romanian one at the end.
Yep,
and it's just kind of like, I guess that's what he's doing.
He can't fall in love. And Vince Vaughn's like, don't worry, you'll find the girl one day. And then, because I think that's his motivation for being at the gym. Is to like find a girl.
My favorite, I mean, I'm sure we talked about this on the podcast, but that movie has my favorite ending, where it turns out the girl isn't a lesbian, she's bisexual. So Vince Vaughn will get to have sex with her. 2004. That movie came out 18 years ago.
The most progressive movie we could have imagined.
It's wild. I feel like a lot of the stuff in that movie doesn't age super well, but that ending, man, that really gets you.
Do you know that actor's name, by the way?
That woman's name, Kirsten Sinema.
Oh, no! She would have definitely sold out the Na'vi for the right amount of unobtainiums.
Oh my god, yeah.
She would have sold out the Na'vi for the right to have her name in newspapers about it.
That's true. She never would have made it that far. The Na'vi would have seen her coming from a mile away. That actor's name is Joel David Moore. Plays Norm Spellman. Excuse me.
Okay.
And he's in those two things that we said. Avatar and that. That's about it.
Yeah, right. So, what in this movie, right, he is like a Avatar pro, right? He's logged over 500 hours in the simulation. He knew Jake's brother and is like, he's the best Avatar man, like number 2 to Dr. Grace or whatever.
That's right.
And like at one point, like, because Jake gets let into the village and, gets to do all his cool Avatar shit because he's the chosen one by the tree. And he gets all like, oh, like they're going to a mission. It's like, oh, you don't know who Awa is? That's their fucking god, you dipshit. Oh, fucking dumbass Marine over here. And he gets like really salty, and it looks like it's going to be like a through line, but then he's just like, it's fine. Like during the montage where Jake is doing all his training, it's like, oh, Norm came around. He's cool now.
That's true.
That was like interesting that they just kind of have that as like a theme and then just like pull the plug like a scene later. Unless there's more in the extended cut, Nando, that I don't know about.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they don't like he's in a lot of scenes. I guess he's like, I guess there's really nothing I'm going to gain from being a shithead to him, so I might as well not do that. But
so his character is just like totally, I'm just going to turn this one around.
Because I guess there's the moment where when Jake comes back and Sigourney Weaver is on his side and she's like telling the story at lunch. That's it in your movie, right?
Yeah, that's there. Yeah.
Is that maybe where he turns around? And he's like, I guess if she likes him, there's nothing else I can do.
I guess it's around. No, I thought he was still jealous of that scene.
I did
he's still like, oh, what? You're so cool. I thought that's where like maybe the jealousy kicked off because now Sigourney Weaver has a new favorite person because she gave Norm the nod. It's like, oh, 400 hours, that's somewhat impressive, and I'm hard to impress.
Yeah, because she's James Cameron in real life.
Right?
That's what she's doing. Now get in this tank. I feel like she's... I don't know what Norm's deal is in this movie, besides just that he's not really that important, so the movie kind of forgot he was in
right?
it.
And it's like, why is he there?
Maybe he's doing a whole bunch of stuff at home while Jake's doing all his stuff. He's got his own adventure we don't even hear about.
Well, yeah.
Well, I'm shocked it's not in the extended cut, as a matter of fact, then, you know?
That's how bad it must have been.
Norm and Grace are doing, the science while he's just out there, like... hanging 10 with the Na'vi all day, Well,
it's funny because I just spun the wheel and landed on one of DJ's. What are all the other avatars doing?
Yeah, that's my question. So, like, right when Jake gets into his avatar body, he's like running around, and it's like, oh, cool avatar, and everyone's like, Jake, stop, we need to do all your gross motor tests. It's like, no, I want to run around. I haven't had legs in however many years. Which, like, whatever, that makes sense. So he's doing that, and we see, like, at least half a dozen other Avatar. Actually, probably more later in the camp when they're going into their tents and stuff.
When they're going to do their big Avatar sleep.
Yeah, and it's like, what are they doing? What's their deal?
Basketball. We saw it.
They play basketball? That's their whole thing?
Yeah, they're shooting hoops.
Okay. Again, Nando, was this in your cut? Do we see more other Avatar stuff?
Like, I think it's just what you've described. It's basketball, and then they have their little cabin, right,
yep.
where they, like, hang out, where there's, like, for some reason, like a thing on the door that you would put on, like, a bodega that you close every night.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know what that's doing, but it's like they're werewolves. They have to lock all the avatars in. But, yeah, I don't know, because we only see 3 avatars throughout the movie. It's just those 3 guys. There's some other humans that are with them on their mission. Do we ever meet another avatar?
Not, like, officially. Like, this is Joe. He's the, I don't know, chef avatar. He makes all of our avatar food. Like, that never happens.
Yeah, we see other Avatar Na'vi, but none of them ever talk, and we don't really meet them.
Yeah.
Can I say, quick, rewinding a little bit back to Norman being jealous and everything?
Uh-huh.
I liked part of how Jake becomes the person who gets to learn about the Na'vi culture. Because there's the jellyfish, and he's chosen by Awa and all that. But there's also another reason they give in, like, the argument scene, where the chief is like, should we kill him or not?
Oh, yeah. It's just like, I know, yeah.
Where he's like, Natiri is telling him, like, yeah, we tried to teach other people, like Grace, about our culture, but you can't fill a cup that is already full.
Right.
And he's like, my cup is empty. And she's like, you're right, you are stupid.
Yeah.
But also, I thought it was a genuinely interesting point to suggest that the reason why Jake is better to learn about the culture than Sigourney Weaver or Norman would be is because they are scientists. They are trying to understand all of this from a human scientific perspective. And ultimately, that is the frame they are taking all of this into. Jake is not a scientist. He doesn't care about that. And is willing to accept it as, like, within the Na'vi cultural milieu. Like, I think a perfect example is the soul trees, where, like, Sigourney Weaver's like, oh man, I want to study that. I got to find out what's going on there biologically. And, like, that would be her reaction to seeing this thing that's very sacred to them, which, in its own way, is kind of disrespectful. But Jake's reaction is just like, wow, so this is the cool thing that connects you, that is very spiritual to you? I understand. Cool. This is very awe-inspiring. You know what I mean? It's like...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting point that the movie made.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I feel like as a character, he's not like a character that doesn't have interests. But I do think having him beat up the guy in that bar does help. You know what else he does in the bar in that first scene? He, like, takes a shot with a bunch of friends. He seems like I think that the stuff that's not in your guys' movie actually does make him far more likable and, like, just, like, more of a character that works.
Because he beats a guy up and is defending a woman, so
and
therefore he's cool.
Well, that and, like, no, but, like, that is good.
Have you ever read a little book called Save the Cat, DJ?
Yeah. But beyond that, no, the part where he's, like, having a drink with his friends is the part that I think it's, like, more people in movies should do that. Just go out, have a drink, you know? Because, like,
yeah,
it's so hard. Be drunk. Yeah. Because that's what you know, I feel like movies like this, and especially this one, obviously, but, like, if you don't have Robert Downey Jr. or someone with just, you know, overflowing with charisma, it's pretty tough to, like, come up with a way to make your movie fun for everybody. But, like, if you put a guy like this in there who's just, like, cool and friendly, then, you know, he's got friends, then, I don't know, it just works better. So I think that scene is helpful. I don't think it should be in the movie because the movie's already way too long. But if they could have worked that into other parts of the movie, that would be good. He could play basketball. I like that she played basketball. That was something.
I like that she had a shirt that said Stanford.
Yeah, she's from Stanford. That sounds about right. That's what a person from Stanford would do. Can I get one of these that's avatar sized? I'm going to Pandora. I know.
That's a great point. She had to get a Stanford shirt, like, custom made for her avatar.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, maybe she is famous, and then Stanford was like, please wear this shirt on your avatar. Zen Alba Sweden
Oh,
Pictures.
the guy with SpawnCon?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
I could see either version. That's just how Stanford she is. But have you guys seen the thing where the other famous Sigourney Weaver James Cameron basketball thing?
No.
Diggins, you know what I'm talking about?
Is this in Aliens?
Aliens 3, I think. I honestly can't remember. Because they all kind of blur together.
Well, I don't think he did Alien 3, did he?
Yeah, so it honestly might not be that. Alien Resurrection. So it's not a James Cameron thing, but it's an Alien Sigourney Weaver thing. I'm going to send you the clip so you can watch it. But this is a scene from the movie that they did, that they filmed, obviously, and I'll set it up. Anybody else can watch this. Just Google, Sigourney Weaver basketball. Basically, they were doing a scene where her and Ron Perlman is the other guy in the scene are, talking, and she does a no-look behind the, half-court shot, backwards, over her back. And apparently, she got it in 3 shots, and Ron Perlman almost ruined it by reacting too positively to it. Yeah, you can watch it in the thing. That's the clip I sent over. Is her just kind of talks and then kind of walks away, and then and then she just does it. So
go figure.
I think that's probably why they had her play basketball in this, because that's something that people like about her. But yeah,
that's cool.
I like it when characters in movies play basketball. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Something very endearing about it.
Makes them so relatable.
That's why you really loved Space Jam 2 with LeBron James.
Yeah. They didn't play basketball. They played some other thing. They played, what was it?
Monster Ball or whatever.
Yeah, it was whatever the kid had invented.
Right.
That's why that was.
So that's why you loved Space Jam 1 with Michael Jordan.
Honestly, perhaps that
they
can't hurt.
Play baseball.
They played plenty of baseball or basketball in that one.
Well, they do also play baseball in that movie briefly.
That's true. Yeah. What were we talking about?
So it was God.
What do the other avatars do? What them other avatars?
Oh yeah, what do
doing?
the other avatars?
Oh yeah,
do?
what's their deal?
Yeah.
Are
I don't
they
know. The movie doesn't say.
Is it like the first thing he does, where they just go out in the jungle and put a needle in a tree and are like, "Let's go look at this in a lab"? Is that what they're doing? It's funny because
they go out to do that. It's weird because it's not like the Avatar. You don't need to be an Avatar because that helps you sneak around, right? The Avatars, the Na'vi all know who the Avatars are, but also regular soldiers just go out with them. So
yeah,
you could just have it be soldiers. It would be weird because you wouldn't be as tall as that other avatars. But that, it doesn't. That's part of why I just don't quite understand what avatars, what they bring to the table.
This would probably make more sense if it was just one avatar, right? If it was just Jake Sully.
Yeah.
It's all right, we have this guy, and he's going to be our whatever, and he's going to try and get in with the tribes people.
I feel like the original idea was a diplomatic rapprochement, but it just didn't really work out because, honestly, I think it's a pretty wild idea they had, because I feel like if an alien species came here and had a genetic amalgamation of us and them, and just we're hello, I'm an alien puppeting this meat body. Let's talk diplomatic terms. I'd be like, what the fuck? Why are you doing that?
Does this form put your mind at ease?
No.
Yeah. But then the other question is what do the avatars think is going on? Or the Na'vi think is going on with the avatars? Do they know what avatars are?
They seem to understand that they are human beings, inhabiting these bodies. They might think about that in more mystical than scientific terms, but they do seem to understand that's what's happening.
It's so weird then, yeah, that they're you avatars are going to go do samples, collect samples, but the avatars aren't even more adept at handling the nature. They are probably because they're bigger and stronger, but it's not a big monster can't just jump out of the, forest and eat one of the avatars. It totally could. It almost does to Jake. So it's
yeah, right.
I don't know. I get why they're there, kind of, but they don't. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing where you go out of your way to get Jake to do Avatar stuff again, because it's why? What's he gonna do? It's it really is he's just the tall guy who can get everything off the highest shelf. So it's we obviously need him. He's very important to the Avatar
keep in
business.
Mind, it does take 6 years to get between Earth and Pandora. So it's possible that they had realized by then, this Avatar stuff isn't working out. We don't really need them. But back on Earth, they didn't know that yet. So, like, this
That's a good
Avatar
point.
stuff is super important. We got to send this guy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if in between the time that, like, during that travel you get there and it's like, oh yeah, you gotta go back and turn around. We kind of canned this program.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Sure, there were some people on the way that were going to get there pretty soon.
Yeah.
The day Avatar
Yeah,
happens,
right.
and then, yeah.
I was going to
Wait,
say...
why are they leaving?
yeah,
That's all the Avatar people. Fuck.
For the
They
next
didn't do it.
6 years, there's going to be people coming like, hey, I'm here to do the... Oh, I guess
Yeah.
this just isn't here now? I guess this just isn't happening now. Sorry.
Yeah, that'll be like Norm's job. It's because Jake is the only Avatar that gets hooked up to his body in the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, Norm went home. Or did he die? I
No,
can't remember.
Norman is alive and is
Yep.
one of the people... He and Max are allowed to stay.
Right.
And I think
But, like,
we...
In their Avatar body. Because they're holding guns as everyone leaves.
No,
Like, big Avatar
Norman,
guns.
Norman and Max... Well, Max never had an Avatar, and Norman's Avatar is
Right,
dead.
he's just himself,
he dies in the battle, but
Right.
Norman lives because he's Avataring.
Yeah.
I was going to say, there are other Avatars there. We see Big Na'vi in human clothes with guns.
Yeah.
So, like, at least a couple of them are on the rebel side and, like, are staying, I guess.
I'm convinced there's something they forgot to put in the movie. Which sounds crazy, but it does seem like it's the case.
Yeah, the Avatar budget ran out of money. They couldn't do any more Avatars. They're like, we got 2 Avatars. Is that enough? Well, there's supposed to be 20 of them. They're doing stuff in the background somewhere. We don't have to check on them much in these movies. We'll just assume they're here. Because, yeah, there should be more Avatars.
Yeah.
But there are not.
Or not.
I spun the wheel again, you guys. Landed on one of mine. The guy who was right. I want to talk about the boyfriend guy. He was right the whole time, and then he died.
You talking about
Fucked, man.
Sute?
Yeah. What more do you need? Like, that guy just, man, he came in, he was like, I don't trust Jake. And he was right to not trust Jake. And then he trusted Jake, and he was right to trust Jake, and he still died. It's like, that guy should be in charge now.
He was in
That's
charge.
Well, he was going to be. He was like he was runner up to be in charge.
Yeah, he was briefly in charge after Neytiri's dad died, and before he dies, he's the one in
Right.
charge. Because Jake shows up with the what is it, Daruk?
Yeah, I don't
Jake
know.
shows up with the Daruk and is like, "Hey, I'm acknowledging your authority. I'm sorry about everything. Will you please help me?" And he's like, "All right." So he is the clan leader until that moment he gets shot and dies.
It's just such bullshit. I felt for him, man. I was like, I didn't think he made it out, because I remember the bit in slow motion when he fights them on the plane.
Yeah.
I remember that from this. But, like, I was just really hoping.
Gotta say, I respect the hell out of anyone who is doing a big fight up in the sky, and one of their first moves is pick a man up and throw him off the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
A
sick.
lot of that. I mean, what was the best move in the final fight? Was it that? That was pretty good. I forget who. At one point, somebody used their dinosaur to bite a helicopter and toss that helicopter into another helicopter. was
Jake
pretty
does
good.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I appreciate? I appreciate that the evil colonel in the beginning during a security brief goes, their arrows are dipped in a neurotoxin that'll stop your heart within a minute. He also fails to mention that the size of the arrows are like, 9 feet long. And,
Yeah. Otherwise, you can usually take 7 or 8 of them before you die.
Yeah, that doesn't
Right, it's like-
that doesn't really come up. The only person we see get hit by an arrow is him, and it goes right in his heart. So, like, he wasn't gonna live anyway.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's getting grazed by an arrow. It's like, oh no, the neurotoxin's kicking in. I think it's like, if that arrow wishes by you, you're dead. All your bones are broken. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. So I thought that was funny.
that is a good point. I did like that their arrows were way bigger than their it's interesting in a movie like that, because you do forget how much bigger the avatars are than the regular guys.
Yeah.
And every so often, one of them will stand next to the other one. It's like, oh my god, you're so much bigger.
Yeah, and then you see Neytiri cradling her tiny husband at the end, and you're like,
Oh
all I
yeah.
wanna do is see you turn into a giant woman. Giant woman.
I bet Nando doesn't know that reference.
I've never heard of that. What's that from?
It's from Steven
Steven
Universe.
Oh, okay. I was like, I watched all of She-Hulk, so I don't think I missed it there. And that's where it would go.
And I really hope that in the next Avatar that they have invented beds so that finally we can see someone have sex so hard they destroy a bed, since S.H.I.E.L.D. failed to deliver.
Disney can only do so much, okay? Listen, I don't know. Do you think this next one will have the first openly gay avatar in a movie?
Oh!
I don't know. Maybe. You guys, I spun the wheel again. Landed on one of DJ's. Did Jake kill kids? Let's talk about this. We've kind of talked about Jake a little bit, but... Or Diggins, sorry. I don't know why I thought everybody's the other thing. So just assume I mean the other one.
Well, because you temporarily become one of the listeners who can't tell the difference between me and DJ's voice.
Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
I mean, there have been
one who
people...
said that once.
I have had people, like, call me DJ, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're wrong. Also, don't insult me like that.
Yeah.
I take offense.
Hey, listen, I don't say that. I'm just like, I understand your confusion. That's not me.
He says it in private, everyone, constantly. You've all made him very upset.
Yeah. But anyway, so the kids thing.
Yeah, kids thing. That's Diggins.
So, when they decide to move forward with destroying the tree and they don't care about getting the Na'vi to leave, Jake and Grace are like begging Giovanni Ribisi to give them one more chance to like solve this diplomatically so that they don't have to kill a bunch of people. And they're like, there's women and children inside that tree. Kids are gonna die if you do this. And Jake looks at him and goes like, you don't want that on your conscience. Trust me. And I'm like, are you saying you've murdered children? Like, what are you trying to tell me here, Jake? Because it sounds a lot like you're saying,
it to you.
I know that murdering children feels bad.
Yeah.
Because I've done it.
I mean, I don't think I would phrase it that way, but I think I could say it with about as much authority as he's saying it. So you're like, man, you don't want to murder kids. You're not going to like it. I'm pretty sure.
Well, sure. It's
I haven't heard great things. Yeah.
It's a reasonable thing to infer that killing kids feels bad. But he says it in a way that really seems to imply that he has personal experience in this field.
I've been there.
Yep.
Been there, done that.
Which, again, he's a member of the U.S. military, so it's not that unexpected.
Yeah.
But it's still a wild thing to just have uncommented in the middle of your movie.
Oh, yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah, it is really weird. I do think... I don't want more of his life. I definitely don't want a prequel of Jake Sully doing army stuff.
I couldn't imagine anything less interesting. The
But
interesting thing
want
about
more...
these movies is the weird sci-fi stuff.
I kind of want more Earth, though. I want to see what... like
Yes,
the
I
Earth is
agree.
interesting in that one little beginning bit. It's kind of... I don't know, it's kind of fun to watch.
I also want more Earth. I want to know more about what we did to ruin it, specifically in James Cameron's vision.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
I think
so
it's
with
the
Nando.
stuff
I want more
we're
Earth.
doing to ruin it now. I think it's that.
But I want to
that
see
better.
it.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
That sounds like
Well,
us,
then look
actually.
out the window, DJ.
Yeah. Open your eyes, man.
I don't see. I need to see.
Yeah, I think Jake killed kids. I don't know.
I'm
he
forced to
probably did,
conclude that he did murder some children. I guess in Venezuela.
Probably, yeah. I don't
There
know.
were kids standing in front of the oil barrels, and it's like, no, don't take them. And Jake's like, oh, I'm sorry, I got to kill you.
Do you think
Yeah.
instead of getting into some kind of accident, Jake lost use of his legs as punishment from God for killing children?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe,
Or what if it...
maybe that was like a military tribunal or something. They were like, we can't have you killing children. You've killed too many. We will take your legs from you. And he's like, no, I want to kill even more children. It's all I live for.
And I use my legs. I kick him. I kick him in the teeth.
Yeah.
It's how... These are my killing
We have no
weapons you're taking from me.
options. Jake Sully, we are just in normal society, but you, there's something wrong with you.
You're a monster.
Yeah. And maybe that is what Earth is like, though. Maybe we sent all the psychopaths to Pandora, and then we got all cool people here, you know? Like, maybe this is what the Elon Moon Colony endgame should maybe be. Just get them to all go, and then we can just hang. Because, yeah, I feel like it does not seem like we need them. And, yeah, I would want Stephen Lang on Not the Planet I'm In this movie, and all his goons. Although, again, I do think he's the best part of the movie. Yeah. Speaking of that, let's spin the wheel again. Landing on one of yours. It's just, I didn't sign up for this shit. Let's talk
Yeah, that was
about
me.
one of the characters that is definitely in this movie. Michelle Rodriguez is one. What's her name? Does she have a name?
Trudy.
I don't know. Trudy.
Sure.
Doesn't
Never
read
has a
Trudy.
character name been more mismatched with the character than Trudy.
If it
So, yeah.
helps,
Call her
it's-
Ace or something.
If
God.
it helps, it's Trudy Chacon.
I mean,
I know.
it
Doesn't help.
Yeah. It's the Trudy that's losing me. It's just like I can't even think of what I would expect a Trudy in a movie would be. Like she would work in Don Draper's office or something. Like it just says helicopter pilot. I don't know. I mean, good for her.
Maybe a cashier in a Hallmark movie.
I'm pretty sure there is a Trudy
true.
in Mad Men. I think it's Pete's wife.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that sounds right. What's his last name? Oh, so wait, Allison Brie?
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah, I think you're right. I like that show. Well, actually, I don't know. Parts of it are good. Anyway, yeah, so Michelle Rodriguez bringing full Fast and Furious energy to this movie.
Yeah.
It's like, it's weird because it's a movie that could use maybe a little bit more of that. Because again, schlocky James Cameron action like Arnold Schwarzenegger. She gets some lines. Boy, does she. So when does I Didn't Sign Up for This Shit show up?
So when they agree to attack the tree and they get all their pilots to launch. So first they're like, all right, we'll gas them out. We'll use some non-lethal gas, and that'll be our first humane solution.
Gassing people, a well-known humane solution that is certainly not banned by any conventions that might have been held in Switzerland at some point.
None that matter, Diggins. We're not hippies. Come on. So it's like, we'll gas them out. That doesn't work. So they're like, all right, ready, aim, fire, boys. And then, so they're just like bombing the shit out of the tree. And then Michelle Rodriguez is in her little plane. And it's funny, she's got a Marine like strapped up to like a Gatling gun. Is like, yeah, let's go. And she's like, I didn't sign up for this shit. And then flies away. And he's like, what the fuck? But Michelle Rodriguez, what did you sign up for? And Trudy, what did you sign up for, Trudy?
Yeah.
You know, I think this is what you signed up for.
Maybe this was like not like a Mr. Bean, but like one of those scenarios where she just saw the helicopters but never saw any of the guns because they were always obscured by something. So then she saw all the guns and she was like, oh no, this is guns helicopters? I didn't sign up for this. I thought this was just helicopter tours. Yeah.
I think
it's a really pretty place. Don't people want to see it from helicopter? That sounds good.
I think it might have been a Futurama situation where she enlisted to get a discount on gum.
Yes.
But then war were declared.
War were declared.
It does seem like this is a very Brannigan-esque army when you really get down to it. Just throwing as many helicopters at the Na'vi until they've reached their helicopter kill count. I feel like,
come on, Kif, they'll move. What are you talking about?
I feel like Michelle Rodriguez's character also just doesn't need to be in this movie. Like,
no, she doesn't.
There's no archetype she fills besides good Marine, I guess, or like good Army person. But Sam Worthington's already that. What'd you say?
She's Vasquez.
What's that?
Aliens?
But like, I guess it's like in Aliens, he serves a purpose that is. I feel like the only reason she's in this is they probably wrote the script and went, "Oh, we need somebody to get him out of jail. Who is free? Who can have some sort of deniability?" Because that really is the only thing she does in the movie that matters.
Well, they
also we talk about that plan.
They need someone to get
how
them out
that
of
went
jail,
down,
and also someone who can fly the plane when they want to leave.
Well, I figure Jake can do that. Or like, some of these people probably can figure it out. It's not that hard. It's just a helicopter. Anybody can do it.
Okay.
And we all know.
All right, listeners, if anyone has access to a helicopter and doesn't care what happens to it, then let Nando just hop into it and try to figure it out. No lessons. Just see if you can figure out how to fly the thing.
I'm not the kind of person that says who is and is not a man. I do think one thing we all share is every man thinks we can land a helicopter by just feeling it, like the big getting in the groove. We've seen it happen. It's one joystick. I think we can figure it out.
It's one joystick.
It's one big stick. I would just keep that steady and then go down. Whatever that
girl steady.
Pedal, I guess, is what's doing that, and then down.
I would either crash into a burning wreck or fling myself into the sun. One of those two things.
I would land upside down. The propeller blades would just be upside down. They'd be like, I did it!
I mean, it can't... Which I've heard people say that it is harder to land a helicopter than a plane. And I just don't buy it.
I'm sure.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it. I feel like with the helicopter, you don't have like multiple options. But like with the plane, it's like you try and either it works or it doesn't. But the helicopter, you go down and you're like, oh, I don't like this. You go back up and then down and up. I don't know.
It's actually really hard to keep a helicopter steady. Because you have to make sure that, especially as you're going down, you're spinning the propeller blade at the correct length. It's not a binary thing. You could definitely just, not have the propellers go enough as you're, cruising and then just, fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
There's way more room for error with a helicopter versus, a plane.
For most people. But,
right.
some of us,
so right.
I can just feel it. I think it's going to work.
Feel different?
Yeah, one of these days, I got to get me a helicopter. I mean, listen, I played a couple video games. Halo has similar helicopters to these. I think it's about the same.
Now, does it have to be a helicopter, or will any VTOL do?
Well, what are the other alternatives? Like what are those called?
Generally
what are those
VTOLs.
called? No, but what's the plane version of it?
It's called a VTOL.
Oh, but there's another word for the specific. Is Osprey? Is that what it is? Is that what you're talking about?
Let's see.
I think that's what they are. But yeah, whatever it is, I'm sure I can figure it out. And again, the skills transfer.
I love that confidence.
You know,
I love that confidence,
you
man.
did one, you did them all. Yeah, so Boeing V-22 Osprey. Yeah, I think I can figure. The Osprey is nice because you got multiple options, I guess. You can do it plane style or helicopter style, depending on what you're feeling in the moment.
You know, what the day brings you, you know.
The only one I think I'd have trouble with is the thing, speaking of things like this, from True Lies that Arnold drives, which is the plane that can go up and down.
A helicopter?
No, it's a plane. It's like a jet, and it's like he tries to. It's at the very end of the movie, and he uses it, and he can't even get it off the ground without hitting some stuff. So there's no way I can. It's the plane that Hulk throws Thor into in Avengers 1.
That's the VTOL.
Same plane. Is that what it's called?
It's vertical transport.
Nope.
I thought it was just vertical takeoff.
Vertical.
Oh yeah,
vertical takeoff and
vertical
landing.
takeoff
VTOL.
And landing, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's a special kind of plane. I want to say, is Harrier, is that a thing?
It is
Harrier jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the
AV-B8 Harrier is the
that
thing.
Pepsi had to give that one guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they just pretty much invented what this plane does, but this is the only time I've seen, like, it's a gag in the movie that he can't get it to get up because it's just really hard. But it is, I mean, I love True Lies, and I think all the stuff they're able to do with that is very fun.
Usually, if it's too hard, you don't have a problem getting it up.
That's true.
Heyo.
Not on Avatar, Pandora Land. We don't even know. There's so many things we don't know. We have to explore and find.
Oh,
more
when they're
sequels.
horny, it gets soft.
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
Gross.
This is the kind of thing we should have explored, a multiverse of madness, you know? Instead we did red lights are green, or like red lights are go and green lights are
Yeah.
stop.
Pizza balls.
Where was the rest of this universe? Sam Raimi? Remember when Michelle Rodriguez joins the good guys and puts on face paint?
Yeah.
And on her plane also.
Adorable. Yeah, I know. The plane I get. Because, I mean, actually, don't do that, you know?
No, war paint on a plane's a horrible idea.
You want to sneak it to their plane so then you can be extra good.
Yeah, but also you don't want your guys to be like, well, there's one of those planes, let's blow it up.
That's true, but I guess you can. It's gonna be tough to communicate. Put a little flag or something. I don't know. But you guys remember her line when she shows up to do plane stuff in the big fight?
Rogue One.
No, but she just goes. She shows up and then shoots Stephen Lang's big old whatever it is, his humongous like barge in the sky, and she lands in front of him, but not lands, but like hovers in front of him and just goes, oops. And then that's it. What a line. Just absolute. Just, it's so weird.
That's hacky. Yeah.
I almost like it, but it's something I could see coming out of Schwarzenegger's mouth is the thing. So I can't fault her for it.
She should have said, did I do that?
Oh my God.
Team pussy, am I right? That's whenever I think of a word she says in a movie, it's that. It's that one line from Fast Six or whatever.
I forgot Team Pussy.
Team pussy. That's a bad movie. No, that's the best one.
God.
I only have one more thing on the wheel, you guys. And this is one of mine. This is Stephen Lang, the unkillable man. The guy who just falls out of everything, gets stabbed many times. The stabbings always go right to the side, but not in his head. Like it's incredible how much this guy survives, and he's in the next one. So he survived being killed somehow.
That doesn't make any sense. Wait, can we talk about how he? Well, we kind of talk about how he dies. He gets an arrow, a Na'vi arrow to the chest.
2 Na'vi arrows into his chest.
2 Na'vi arrows, and he has already broken his like he's gonna run out of air soon too, because he's on Pandora. He can't breathe well. So like if the arrows don't kill him and the poison doesn't kill him, the air's gonna kill him. Or it won't, I guess. I don't know.
Well, hold on. I'm looking this up. If he plays the same character in Avatar.
Why would he be a different character? That would make even less sense.
He is the same character. He's Quaritch again. I don't know. It's gotta be like flashbacks or something. There's no way this man's alive.
What if he's a clone? Why wouldn't they have clones in this universe?
Oh, he should have an avatar. He could be Bad Avatar.
Bavatar.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking before. I was like, why hasn't anyone tried that? Like, and maybe they have, and that guy showed up and he was like, I am just like you. And they immediately cut his head off because they were like, this is something. This isn't one of us guys. But like, sneaking in and being a bad avatar would be pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
Seems like what you would use avatars for, but who am I? I don't know. What did you think of the bit? I mean, I think the best part of this movie is the bit when Stephen Lang's giant mech takes its hunting knife out. That's pretty cool.
That's so funny.
If the whole movie was that, I think I'd like it a lot more. I like the mech stuff is really interesting. It's kind of cool.
They never explain it really. Like that would be a speech. It's like, this is your M1 mech. This is the thing between life and death here on Pandora. Like that would be a whole.
Honestly,
thing
that might have been in my
imagine.
movie. I don't know. It sounds like something.
Okay.
It's either something that was in my movie or like an AI chatbot could write that scene because it's been done so many times. But it's a.
Oh my god! Did an AI chatbot write this movie?
I mean, it definitely wrote some of Michelle Rodriguez's lines. That's for sure.
It's definitely going to write a movie in the future that's going to be really bad.
Oh yeah.
Or good.
Or fine. Yeah. Or we just will go. Yeah, it's about as Ant-Man 3. Not bad. You guys did a good job. Wow.
Yeah, that's to be fair. There's some Hollywood movies that get put out these days that are not any better than a movie written by a chatbot.
Yeah, I think the chatbot would think that Black Adam not killing is as bad as killing or something. That logic actually bears out. That the chatbot wrote Black Adam. But yeah, Stephen Lang was cool. I did like him. I feel like he's just, he should be dead. So what do you think? How do you guys think he comes back?
It's what Diggins said. It's flashbacks. It has to be flashbacks.
I don't know.
It's the only acceptable answer.
That's what I would have said about Sigourney Weaver too, but she's a baby. So
But we know that like she gets absorbed into the tree. Unless somehow it was like very forgiving and absorbed Stephen Lang into the tree.
I could see that.
Like, you know what? Come along for the ride.
I could see like the tree, like he fell, his body fell onto the earth as he died, and then the tree kind of got him a little bit, like the tentacles of the
You know what, man?
earth.
You're cool.
I think that's
It's
what
all
it is.
good.
They saw how strong he was, and they were like, "We actually could use you."
Well, that was the logic for why, she saves Jake Sully at the beginning. It's like, you have a strong heart,
That's right.
but you're a dummy.
Yeah.
So,
And this guy is twice as dumb as Jake and twice as
Yeah.
strong.
his cup is somehow emptier than zero. He has negative cup.
He just has a bigger cup, but it's still got nothing in it.
A bigger cup with nothing.
Yeah, it's like a 32-ounce big gulp rain of just empty. Fill it with whatever you want. Slurpee, candy bars, you got options. But, yeah, he's going to be in the next one. I don't know. Who do you think, how about this? We know a little bit about the next one. The only thing I know is that there's mechs in it at some point. So it's like the people are back, which makes sense, because of course, why wouldn't they come back?
Yeah, what would the conflict be? Yeah.
Well, but maybe there would be a bad avatar or like bad Na'vi or something that would come to kill our Na'vi.
It does
Like,
kind of seem like,
it's weird
based on the
because
trailers, that part of it is like their clan of Na'vi are going around and other clans are like, yo, you got beef with the humans and we don't need that smoke.
Well,
Yeah.
And I think it's weird that they have the moment in this movie when Jake goes to all the tribes, the one from the rocks and another one, and not the water one, I guess. But like, I kind of was like, oh, did they actually have them in the last one? I didn't even remember, but they don't. So I guess we'll be doing that. I don't know.
That would have been an interesting perspective, actually, where they go to a tribe and be like, no, we will not do this.
Yeah.
Like to show some of that conflict.
And I mean, like, I feel like there would be other. I could see arguments on both sides, especially if you don't buy into the tree thing. If you're like, I'm sorry, these humans are going to wipe us out because you won't give us your silly tree, just leave. Give them the damn tree. It's not it's not connected to God. The jellyfish are God. This is different. Like, if you didn't believe in the tree, it's like, yeah, just make them leave.
I do find it interesting that the humans want unobtainium, but the Na'vi don't seem to use it. So there shouldn't be a conflict if it's like, we just have the unobtainium? And then they would be like, yes.
Well, they seem to be largely okay with the humans being there and mining. They don't like them, but they're like, whatever. It's just that they're like, we need this thing of unobtainium that's under your tree, even though there's other ones we could be getting and are getting.
Well,
but it's not the biggest mine or whatever.
And also, it's like, they do that, and, right, like, it's not a situation where the unobtainium is secretly the nerve system of the planet or something, and the more of it you take.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But also, like, it seems like what Grace is doing is, and again, I'm not sure how much of this was in the regular one, like a cultural exchange kind of thing with the Na'vi. But, again, they never have any, like, Earth cultural stuff, so it didn't work at all. But, like, you could figure, if you could find out what that would be, you would just go, hey, you guys want whatever? And then can we just get access to the tree? Give us a long weekend and we will get all this unobtainium out, and then we'll just go. But apparently we have nothing to offer the Na'vi, which is fair. We're
Well,
going to give them Pokemon cards.
Yeah, light beer.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, did you give them light beer? Maybe they'd like it. Maybe they would taste like beer and be like, oh my God. Also,
maybe
that's not the example I would use. I would use craft beer.
I think they just went, they're really tall. What do they want? Basketballs. And they just filled the whole thing with basketballs. And then they didn't take them. So that's why everybody plays basketball on the base.
What if Avatar 5 is like we go back to Earth and like Na'vi players dominate the NBA?
Yes!
Oh my God. And that's why Sigourney Weaver's one is so good. She could do the no-look three-pointer backhanded. Like, that would be our bridge to saving the human race.
Yeah, what if the Avatar 5 is Space Jam, where they're playing a beatball game for the fate of Pandora?
Yeah, that's true.
Great pitch. Get an AI chat robot to make that right now.
I mean, like, it's even like you could get the Nerdlucks to do it. Like, have them. It's even an bad aliens thing. Just have them invade Pandora and challenge them to a game of basketball. Yeah. I don't know. Any thoughts? Any other thoughts on this movie?
I think you kind of said it all.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, we covered the big blue dicks, which was my main thing I wanted to talk about.
Yep. And I mean, it became my main thing once I heard you talk about it. So we covered my main thing too, and then we learned about all the great Avatar stuff. The next one is coming out. It's got Kate Winslet in it. Isn't that fun?
Sure.
Yeah.
Who doesn't
she was
love
in Titanic.
Kate Winslet?
James Cameron. Seems like maybe. I don't know. Seems like she doesn't like him or didn't, and it's surprising that she's in this because she said after Titanic she would never work with him again. So I'm curious as to
money. Disney money.
Yeah, where someone was just like, I promise he won't kill you this time. I'm 100% sure nobody's going to die on this set.
Well, I have bad news, Nando. They actually just revealed that Kate Winslet actually did die on the set of Avatar 2.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they just didn't want to tell people until now.
It would be sad, but I feel like her last thoughts would be like, I am so stupid. Why did I think it wouldn't happen? All the signs were there. He keeps doing this, and this was like another big pool of water movie. He got real cocky after he made all those movies on land, but then he made another big pool of water. And, of course, then everyone drowned.
It's like I did everything in real water. What about fake water? Now I can do it all in fake water.
You'd think so, right? But no, he loves real water. It's partially endearing, but also partially the like lengths to which he's taken some of his productions is insane.
I mean, I don't personally think any movie is ever worth endangering a person's life.
Right, yeah. There's part of it where, like, he goes down in a submarine and that's his favorite thing. I'm like, oh, good for him. And then he holds Ed Harris under a bathtub or something just, to drain the life out of him. It's like, that's where I draw the line. James Cameron, don't do that.
What if it was Ryan Johnson, Diggins? Then would you accept it? If it was Ryan Johnson killing someone?
No.
Oh, wow.
What if...
Are you a fan or not? It sounds like not.
What if it was Zack Snyder? Then would you?
Well, obviously, if Zack Snyder was doing it, I mean... He's the greatest artistic genius the world has ever known. Anything he does is worth any price.
Exactly.
Also facts.
I would gladly sacrifice myself for even another second of the bad part of Snyder Cut, the one in the Joker's future stuff. I would throw myself onto the funeral pyre just to get Jared Leto back for one more line, more rim job,
I had
please.
Successfully blocked Mad
reach
Max
around.
Joker
That's what the word was.
Talking for
rim job.
I mean, listen, it's not that different than what he actually said. He said reach around.
I'm world's close. One big rim job.
It's a deleted scene, I'm sure. Maybe I watched a different version of that one too.
That might be the air cut.
I think maybe they couldn't get Jared Leto to say the actual written speech, and he just rambled on for like 20 minutes, and they cut together what they could use.
I think that's it. I think Ben Affleck just started taking off his bat suit in front of him, and they're like, all right, I guess we're done. It's like when a kid doesn't want to take a picture anymore, so they just start wandering out of the picture. And then we're done taking the picture. Ben Affleck took the hood off. He's got his phone out. We're done. Yeah, all right.
He's just not listening.
Next week, Avatar 2, The Way of Water 2.
Do we have a runtime on it?
3 hours.
Oh!
It's really long.
Kill me.
I think so. Let's see. That's just how movies are now, though. That's the rules. Is they all have to be way too long.
That's like 3 hours, though. That's a big ass.
I was wrong. It's 3 hours 10 minutes.
You're fucking around.
I'm not. That's what happens when you Google
Avatar.
Avatar.
Very longer than this one.
This was 240. It's full half hour longer.
It's pretty long. The
And
version
there's gonna
I
be
watched
stingers.
was that long, so.
Oh, God. There better be lots of Earth and bar scenes.
Frankly,
I want Jake Sully beating up a guy in several flashbacks.
honestly,
cool.
I'm pumped. I only want to watch two kinds of movies. Ones that are 90 minutes and ones that are 4 hours.
You appreciate the dichotomy of time?
Yeah,
Is
I like that.
like
Either, you're delivering a tight experience or you're giving me something so expansive and wild. 2 hours,
Also,
2.5 hours? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No, get the fuck in here. Or compared to this, I mean, get the fuck out of here compared to my Tight 90, which is my favorite kind of movie. But oh my God, that's a lot to bear.
The best length for a movie to be is the length it needs to be.
Wow. Thank you, Sigmund Freud. What a beautiful thing you've said.
Sigmund Freud. Why that reference?
Yeah, it's an
I
interesting
think-
reference.
Is that something he would say? Or
He was
has
a
said?
psychologist. I'm not sure why you...
I mean, he would say that about, like, he would say that you say that about your mother or something. Like, that's the
Yeah,
Freud,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But, I mean, that's up to you, I guess. It's that's what you think Sigmund Freud says. Isn't that interesting? You know? It's like a Rorschach test.
Ooh, yeah.
Speaking
it
of
sounds
that-
like DJ wants to have sex with his mother,
I mean,
No, I want to have sex with a 90-minute movie, Diggins. Get it right.
which represents your mother.
exactly. The movie is that movie, Mother, exclamation point, lowercase m.
Yeah.
So that's, and Ma. Also, I mean, we all want to have sex with Ma. That's, you know.
Oh my God, yeah.
That goes
That's the
without
whole
saying. Yeah.
idea of that movie.
I don't know about that movie Mama, where it's like two kids and the mom is evil or something, but Mother is where I draw the line. Mother, exclamation point, obviously. But you guys want to get to our classic segment?
Yeah.
Let's recommend some things. DJ, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. Speaking of mothers, so there's a show on Hulu. It's a Hulu exclusive show. So, I mean, which kind of is on brand for this kind of thing. It's a new kind of reality dating show. It's called Back in the Groove. All right, so guys, based on, and I probably tipped my hand already with this, but what do you guys think the premise of the show is for reality dating show called Back in the Groove?
You say groove, Groove.
Yeah. Back in the Groove.
They've recently divorced.
I'm going to say...
That's not the entire thing. That is there, but that's not like the whole thing.
I'm going to say it's that, but also it's... Oh, is this like that one where they made people learn a dance and then you do the dance with someone for the first time and that's a date or something?
No.
That's a
They
different
made
one.
two people get divorced and then have a date
And then they
again.
make a dance.
After like a year divorced and see how they feel about it.
Wait, okay, how about this? This is okay. It's widowers who haven't dated since their partner died, and now they're forced into the dating world by the reality show.
It's not exclusively that.
That's
Widowers
something
and divorcees.
reality shows would do.
No. Okay, so you guys are kind of like hopping around it, but it's just older women are being courted by these it's three older women who are being courted by these young hot guys.
Ew. That's not how it's supposed to go, DJ. You did it opposite. How could you watch this garbage?
I have to imagine they called it that because Cougar Town was already taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And MILF Island was already taken. 30 Rock.
So yeah, it's Back in the Groove.
I mean, this looks fun. I'm watching the trailer now.
It is fun. It's very silly. I think out of all these, it doesn't take itself too seriously. I have to say the fact that like they casted guys who are like allegedly like thirsty for like not like older women, but like not women their age is interesting.
I mean, like I'm watching this now, and at least one of these women looks like she might be maybe 3 years older than one of the guys. Like they're really stretching it with. I hope they're doing this so that they can do a second season and get way older people. And those people, the boys on that show will be very confused. And it's like one of those social experiment Joe Millionaire situations, because that would be funny.
Yes. It's like, would you date a woman who is 75?
Yeah. Tyrese, wheel the ladies out. What's this guy's name? It's not Tyrese. What's his name? Name of the host.
Which one are you thinking of?
I don't know. The host of the show. I'm just watching the trailer.
Jesse Palmer?
Tay Diggs. That's the name. I knew it was a T.
Oh, Tay Diggs.
Tay Diggs, yeah. I mean,
roll him out, Tay.
We'll get Tyrese too. I'm sure he's available. Anyway,
he would do this in a heartbeat.
Do you have a favorite guy and a favorite girl?
So I am actually not too far into it yet. We had a quick turnaround with these pods due to scheduling. So I'm gonna hold off for now. Maybe next week I'll give like an update. But it's the energy is just much more fun and not self-serious, which like why would a reality dating show be self-serious? It's like The Bachelor does it all the time. They matter so much because what we're doing fucking God's work here on The Bachelor. So they find a fucking way to be like self-righteous about it. But it's a fun little show. It's on Hulu. It's only on Hulu. It couldn't make the network television cut. They're like, well, we need a Hulu exclusive, so we're gonna do Back in the Groove. And like I think traditionally reality television is like cheaper to make than like scripted television, so maybe this is a cost saving measure for them.
Yeah, I think that's probably most of it. I think that's most decisions in general.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's up to, I have to get final word of On the Rock if he says it's actually making the money or losing the money.
Oh yeah.
I'd have to assume it's cheaper to make than Black Adam.
Well, if he's in it, it makes money, so it's definitely worth it for if he's in it.
Yeah. All right. Is that it? Is that your only thing?
That's
it's been a short time, so I'm not
yeah, right. So you know, next time I'll have so many recs because it'll be such a long time.
Yeah, better. Diggins, what about you? You have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. So I've seen a couple more movies since last we spoke. The first one was Violent Night, the David Harbour movie where he's Santa Claus doing a Die Hard.
Yeah, what's the verdict on that?
It's pretty good.
He's wrecking it, so
it's
okay.
Hopefully not like dog shit.
It's that situation where you walk into a movie and it's exactly what you thought it was, you know?
It.
Like, I'm not disappointed. I'm not, like, overjoyed. I'm just like, yeah, that's about what I wanted from this.
All right.
You know, it's pretty goofy in its action scenes, pretty funny. You know, is a little sweet too. You know, it's still a Christmas movie at the end of the day. But yeah, David Harbour is fun. There's some good Home Alone riffs in there. I had a good time with it. It's not the best, like, action comedy movie ever, but it's fun.
How does it stand up to A Christmas Chronicles? Where is it?
Well, definitely,
on that spectrum?
definitely better than that.
That's good.
This movie knows what it wants to be and is being it.
Yeah.
That is important. Knowing what your lane is.
That is important.
Mm-hmm. The other movie I watched, which I enjoyed a little bit more, is there's this indie director who just came out with a new one. He's been working for a few years, but not a lot of people know him. Steven Spielberg.
Oh, he's the one. He did that movie. What was it called? Tintin. That was him, right? He was the Tintin guy.
Yeah, he's the Tintin guy. Exactly.
And Hugo. He's the Hugo guy too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nailed it.
Is this a sequel to those?
It's not quite a sequel. Maybe like a spiritual sequel. Not a direct sequel. But no, I saw The Fabelmans, which DJ would hate because it's 2.5 hours long.
Nice.
Yeah, that is true.
Sick burn.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed. It's kind of like semi-autobiographical, where it's not like literally the story of his life, but it hews fairly close to his experiences. Of just like growing up, making like little home movies, his parents' marriage falling apart as he's like moving around the country for his dad's jobs. If you watch the trailers for this, it feels like it's going to be this huge, big, schmaltzy thing about the power of cinema. And you just have to do the thing you love. And that's really not what it is at all. I mean,
that's good.
It is about the power of cinema, but the way in which it is that is much more understated and like thoughtful than a person giving big speeches about it.
That's good.
Yeah, no, I think the marketing has done it kind of dirty. But yeah, no, it's just this very kind of slow, just like examination of his life and how film affects him and how he learns to use it to affect others. Up until it like goes right up until the point where he starts working in the film industry. It ends with an incredible cameo. I don't want to spoil, but it's so good.
Is it Jaws? Does Jaws show up?
No. It's when I say starting in the film industry, I mean like when he goes to CBS and gets a shitty assistant job.
Okay.
Not like when he made anything. But yeah, no, it's just the ways it captures the dynamics of his family and how those kind of shaped him, and also the process of his growing up. It feels very personal. It feels like he really is kind of putting himself on the page, and he wrote it with Tony Kushner, which probably helped a lot. And Seth Rogen doing a performance so outside of his normal wheelhouse that I didn't even realize it was him until he started laughing.
Oh, no. Could you think he's ever done a movie where he didn't laugh at all? And he could sneak by? Maybe we didn't even notice.
Could be. I mean, he is genuinely doing a very good performance. It's just like, I didn't realize it was him, and then I heard the and I was like, oh yeah, Seth Rogen's in this movie.
Yeah. It's interesting. Because I liked him in Pam and Tommy, too. Like, I think he's a better actor, than, like, you would expect. But it is just, it's tough. Tough to separate the man from the ha.
Was it
sound.
you guys I was talking to about where when they were casting him, like Spielberg and Tony Kushner were scared, like, oh man, he does like all that improv stuff, right? So we're gonna have to try to wrangle him on set, make him sure that he doesn't, go off script. And then when Seth Rogen got there, he was like reading the script. He was like, oh great, this is just a script that's great right on the page. Yeah, I don't have to do any kind of improv or anything to make it funny. It's just good.
And somewhere Judd Apatow dropped his ice cream onto the pavement. Just little part of him died that day.
Apparently, this was actually said to Judd Apatow, and he took it in good humor.
It's good of Judd Apatow to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my recs. Also, if you subscribe to Dropout, Game Changers and Dimension 20 both have new seasons.
God. I haven't watched the new Game Changers. It would be today, right?
The third one came out today of the new season. Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet.
I like the first episode. I never completely vibe with the musical improv, but the first one was fun.
I like the first one a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure what today's is, but I'm looking forward to it. And Dimension 20, their new season is fairy tale horror.
Yeah, I've seen some clips. So that's pretty good.
It is very fun. I mean, it's the new full season, so it's the original cast doing like a long one instead of a lot of like the shorter ones they do between these. So it's nice to have everybody back together and see them interacting. They're just all just great role players. And Brennan is so good at constructing his worlds. It's just a lot of fun. But this is the scary one, so it's also, I mean, it's not really scary, to be honest, like for me, the viewer, but it is a good horror atmosphere.
You peed your pants at least once.
I peed so bad in my pants. They're just soaking wet. That's me, though.
A way of water.
What about you, Nando? Do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
Yeah, I mean, my big one is I watched a movie that I've been kind of dying to watch for a while. And I had a good feeling about it going in, and I was right. The menu is awesome. I loved it. As a former member of the service industry, I cannot help but love it. But also, I think just as a movie, it's pretty fun. It takes itself pretty seriously at times, but mostly it's like it gets that the premise is kind of dumb, but it strikes a really good balance of like, you should still be worried about these people, but don't, we're not a church here. You're gonna laugh a little bit. You're gonna have some fun. And I think Ralph Fiennes is just really, 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 really good. Like obviously he's a great actor, but like he has some really solid comedic moments. And yeah, I loved it. And it's not quite what you'd expect, but it's not what you'd expect either. Like if you've seen the trailer and you're like, I think I'm interested in this, go see it. You'll probably like it. But you won't be able to see everything coming. It definitely, yeah. It definitely has, you know what it is? It's not exactly what you'd expect in terms of it has other things to say besides like, people who go to fancy restaurants are shitty. So that part of it was interesting. Yeah. So that was my big one. I finished Infamous 2 this week. Or not Infamous 2, excuse me, Infamous Second Son, which is apparently Infamous 3. And I think that was a really fun game. And I wish they made another one, because the old ones are really, like, there's a big gap in terms of quality just visually. I don't think I could go backwards. I think maybe I could have started in Infamous 2 and then worked my way forward. But yeah, I hope they make more of them. But it seems like the Spider-Man games have kind of cannibalized that open world Sony superhero adventure game. But it was a good time. I had a really good time with it. And the other thing is, I've been reading comics. I was reading some of Catwoman: The Lonely City, which is very fun. It's just finished. It's 4 issues. Can't remember who writes it. but Cliff Chang, that's it. And it's a story about like there was some sort of disaster in Gotham where Batman died and everything kind of went to shit. And Catwoman, I believe, went to jail, and now she is free 20-ish years later, I want to say. So she's like an older woman, you know, an old crone, like on that reality show you were talking about, DJ. And she has to kind of figure out what happened in Batman, but it's not like the art is great. Like if you see the art, you'll probably get why it's cool, but also it's a very like it takes itself seriously, but it's also a lot of fun. And it gets, I don't know. I feel like I've been reading a lot of Catwoman recently because I've been curious, like, what is the deal with her? How do you, like, what's a solo Catwoman movie look like? And I think I get it now. And I think I understand. Exactly, yeah. Constance, or what is her name? Prudence Hope or something like that.
I think it's Constance Hope.
Is it? Okay, yeah. It's good. And yeah, so that was cool. And then I was also reading Spider-Woman. I remember seeing something about the Spider-Woman movie they're never going to make. And I was curious. I was like, I've never read a book with this character in it. This was a while ago, but I just finished the run that they just did where she is a mom and just kind of keeps having, like, just kind of is a mess. And it's a lot of fun. I think she is a character that is kind of like if Spider-Man was Jessica Jones, in that she's like quippy she's having fun being a superhero. She is quippy. Yes.
Back.
Each comic is 10 pages long. And you can hold it both ways. Some of the pages are horizontal, some are vertical. But yeah,
But it's been on your TV, right? And you can't eat a sandwich. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could try eating a sandwich with this, but it would be very tricky. But yeah, she's got a good attitude in terms of like she's not super serious, but also she's kind of cynical in the way that Jessica Jones is fun to have in the superhero world. Like I do think it's weird that she is Jessica Drew and Jessica Jones is Jessica Jones, and they're so similar. Like they have similar looks. They both live in New York. They're both kind of the same thing. Like she's also a kind of spy detective, whatever. So I don't know. It's just weird. But yeah, she's cool. Last thing I watched, Pinocchio. So we haven't really talked about it.
Yeah. I second this rec. Say whatever you're going to say.
It's just really, really good. Like, it's not what you expect if you've seen the trailer and you think it's like another Guillermo del Toro. It's, you know what it is? It's not that I don't think I'd show it to a kid, although I probably wouldn't, but I don't think a kid would get it. Like, and also it understands all the things that we've said. It's like it watched both of our episodes, or listened to both of our episodes about Pinocchio this year. And we talked about all the shortcomings of the other movies. It did those instead. It got them right. It made Pinocchio weird and terrifying, and made Geppetto a piece of shit. And like it just got all that stuff that the Disney one couldn't do. The fucking nose is part of it all the time. Like there's just a lot of stuff that is great, and it looks awesome. So I feel like the word is getting out on this because it just came out, but everybody, I don't know a person that I don't think I'd recommend this to. What are your thoughts, Diggins?
I wouldn't recommend it to Tom Hanks because he might get depressed.
True. You throw himself behind DJ's car in the middle of the road.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I totally agree. It is a fantastic movie. I mean, it's so visually inventive. It looks phenomenal. And then also, yeah, it's crazy how when you think about it, you go through the beats, it really is not that far off from the Pinocchio story as we know it, but it just approaches it in such a unique and like fresh way that it feels really different. So like, it's a great adaptation in that it is recognizably the thing it is adapting, but it is still like has so much of its own personality and its own style that it feels wholly unique, which is great. And yeah, it's kind of dark.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark, but I think to its betterment. And I'll be honest, I got really emotional at the end. I cried a little.
Oh yeah,
I cried a little at that ending.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's phenomenal movie.
It's good. And it's like, I think the thing with it was like, there would be times when something would end and then something else would start. Like you could tell we were moving to a different kind of part of the movie. And I was like, what is like, I would go like, what's next? I have no idea. Like it's there's so many things that it does that are so surprising, that it was just really cool. And yeah, it's got great voice actors too. I do wait for the Pauly Shore dub over of it. If that doesn't exist yet, I want someone to take some bits and just dub them over with Pauly Shore's bits because we have the technology. So it would be pretty cool. But yeah, so next week, Avatar 2, like we said.
Avatar.
So that's an easy one. Avatar.
Ho ho ho.
And and then before then, do you have anything you want to plug to the fine people, DJ?
I do, actually. So Rose and Rejections, we're back, baby.
Whoa.
Like a little, I know, like baby-induced hiatus, I guess? I don't know. It's fine. We make excuses. We're so good at that. So we're back. We covered what we called our way, way, way too late podcast on Bachelor in Paradise. Emphasis on way too late. And then also we covered Love is Blind Season 3. Which, you know, Nando, we talked about at length.
Fascinating,
but,
yep.
Right, super, super fascinating. But yeah, so look for that on the Pop Break TV feed. And then we'll have one more podcast for the end of the year, which will be our, like, year in reality TV review podcast. So, yeah, look out for that as well.
Nice. Diggins, do you have anything to plug?
Just the usual stuff, a newsletter, a little perspective.substack.com, and I stream sometimes at twitch.tv/thisisanodname. What about you, Nando?
Videos coming out. I've got my Phase 4 video that is on Nebula and Patreon now. It's going to be on YouTube probably by the end of this week. And then my Man of Steel 2 / maybe a rebooted Superman, it doesn't really matter, pitch video will be on Nebula and Patreon whenever that goes live. So that's pretty much done. And I think it's pretty solid. I'm pretty happy with that. So that's all on the YouTube channel. That's it. Until next week for Avatar, The Way of the Water. I've been at Nando View Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woohoo!
Hayalove, Nagayone Luawel.